Check, check, check.
Welcome back to Corey's Conspiracies.
We're live.
Oh yeah, we got a lot to talk about on this show. I have a guest here. I believe this is my first guest outside of the Nar family.
Absolutely.
And this is Acid Head Ed. And tell us about yourself, Acid Head Ed.
My name's Ed, Acid Head Ed. I'm on YouTube. Got a lot of videos. I think my best one is The Ballad of Acid Head Ed. I want to make it into a major Hollywood movie, of course, but nobody seems to know who I am yet, except for my good friend Corey here, who I met at Starbucks. And he's a skateboarder, and he bought some t-shirts of mine that I had, vintage Simpson t-shirts, and he actually gave me this shirt, which I wear all the time because it's got a pocket, a zipper that I can put my phone in and my eyeglasses. It's fantastic. I've been living in Hollywood since about '83. I'm a film graduate student from Northwestern. What else do you want to know?
So you're not in the Illuminati or anything because you live in Hollywood? Oh, all right. Oh, okay. All right.
No, I'm not in the Illuminati. I've studied it, though,
All right.
lately, particularly, quite a bit. And some very odd things have happened to me.
Some odd things. We'll have to hear about that throughout the show.
You won't believe it, though, if I tell you.
I'm a believer, and
Okay.
we have a lot of people out there that are believers, so we'll decide for ourselves. But I love to hear that on this show. We have some comments up there. Corey, make me horny. Okay. All right. T. Haboon. Oh my God! I just got a 5-second ad before the stream. Congrats, guys. All right.
You're getting ads.
So, oh yeah, the show's getting started.
Yeah, I think our estimated ad revenue so far is $4.
$4.
Oh yeah. So,
Keep it coming.
So everybody watching out there, I don't know how many viewers we have right now. Usually it starts picking up and all that good stuff. But what are you guys thinking? What do you guys want to hear about conspiracies or anything that is relevant that has to be with truth seeking or awakening or any news out there, or anything we can talk about? Is there anything you guys got in your mind? We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to call the number. I believe that might be on the screen, maybe?
It is, yep. It's 971-285-4627. This is pretty much our only call-in show left. You can call that number and talk to us here live on the Nartape Network.
And we got Uncle Funkle producing and engineering this show, and I can use all kinds of words for that. What is the term? Just making this show happen. And he's also a part of the show also. And you guys, most importantly, are a part of the show more than we are. So we have a lot to talk about. Well, one of the first things we were talking about when we got in the van is I said I'd love to talk about that Vegas incident that happened in Vegas. Because it's very sad, and there's always these events that we talk about all the time. But there's a lot of questions that are unanswered, and people tend to let go and not even bother to get them answered.
So true.
And I was saying that there was 2 shooters, and now you're saying that there's 3 shooters.
That's what I've gotten, at least 3 shooters, and they're saying it's an ISIS terrorist attack.
Huh.
And the deep state government is keeping that quiet, I think probably so that people still go to Vegas and spend money. I don't think as many people would go if they really knew what's happening around this country. I don't know what your politics are. I'm a nonpartisan myself. I have no party whatsoever. But I get this feeling like I did in the Aurora incident with all the kids shut up and no information came out. And the guy, Lanza, I don't know if you remember this, the kid who supposedly got his guns from his mom and shot up all those kids, the thing that was fascinating to me was the picture that they put online and in the newspapers and in all the TV shows that first came out was in black and white. It was to make him look more spooky. You remember he was like this? He was like,
Huh.
and it made him more spooky. And I'm going, why are they doing that? Why don't they just have the information? But it was all hidden, and that's exactly what's happening right now with this Vegas incident. Now, I've heard they confiscated all the phones from the victims, the 500 shot, they say. But now I've learned quite a bit more. I don't know if you know this, but there was a woman who was in the crowd, and she was behind a wall. The hotel was over here, the Mandalay. And in front of her, she saw a woman get shot in the stomach. In the shooting, she said there was someone in the crowd shooting. That was the second shooter. They said there might have been someone in the hotel, but I don't know if you know this yet, but down the street, there was video in the Tropicana of all these people coming in, and it was a little odd because there was FBI agents, police, and then people who were clothes, and they came in pointing major military rifles at everybody in the Tropicana as they walked by, and the guy said it just felt odd. And then later we found out there's video streams of 17 ambulances and supposedly 17 people got shot, not at the Tropicana, but across the parking lot at Hooters. And they're not putting this, of course, on CNN or MSNBC, because these are all, you know, the Democrat run, but it's not really Democrat, because it's also Republicans. It's the global banker network. It's the people who are into globalism, who's trying to destroy America, and they're using anything they can to do that. That's where the conspiracy analysis comes in, because quite frankly, when you're dealing with people of this power, these are power grabbers. They're willing to kill, they're willing to stir people up and emotionally.
And it works.
And it works.
And it divides us. And it makes us fight one another and all that stuff. Absolutely. And it makes us say, oh, you don't stick up for our own slaughter, so I don't like you because you don't have a Paris flag on your Facebook profile or something or whatever.
Paris Hilton?
Or yeah, Paris Hilton.
I like Paris Hilton.
Oh yeah, that's right. You've met Paris Hilton, I believe.
Yes, several times actually. But I was too afraid to talk to her. But I actually did videos for her with her in it, and she liked them. That was back in 2009 or 2008, and then well, that's another story. You don't want to hear that, do you?
We'll get to that. We have a comment up here from Bat Homic. That was Newton, not Aurora, right?
I thought it was Aurora. They say it's the Aurora shooting, but he might be from Newtown. Maybe. I think it's usually mentioned Aurora, isn't it? Or am I talking about Colorado?
Huh.
Is Aurora Colorado? Maybe Aurora's Colorado, so it might be Newtown. Yeah.
So, oh yeah.
It's in the Batman movie. Did you see that? The map is in the first Dark Knight, I believe, and it actually shows the place where that shooting took place. It's almost as if they're telling you.
I've heard of a lot of conspiracy and seen some stuff on the Dark Knight. It ran parallel with some current events that was going on. Was that the movie theater shooting that we're talking about?
That's right. Wasn't that the second one?
You know what? I thought that was a little strange because they used the guy with orange-colored hair. They made him look crazy, and I thought to myself, I said, this guy looks like an actor or something. They made it look like he was some crazy fool to put out towards the mainstream so they believe it, and I just got a weird vibe by it. That was one of the first things that kind of gave me a weird vibe, and I was younger when that happened, and you know, I was like, whoa, that doesn't seem right, and that's when it makes you start thinking about all those things, you know?
Well, you know, the guy was very intelligent. I believe he had some scholarship at the school he was doing work, some people say, for the government. That I don't know for sure. But he had a psychiatrist helping him, and he was on, psychotropics, which are based on ecstasy, I believe. Not acid. I'm acid head Ed. Take acid before you take. No, I wouldn't even take it anymore myself. I loved it as a kid, but it's pretty heavy stuff.
Oh,
anyway, the guy was out of his mind, obviously, at the time. And this is one thing that's interesting, though, is we do know it was him. We know the information was there, right? So it's true what you're saying. It's like he was crazy looking. They had him right out there. But now, was he programmed is the question. Because, I mean, he was dressed up in the costume, fit in with all the other people dressed in their Batman costumes, enjoying the movie. And I hear he went out the back door, and that's when he saw the people, and he gave himself up. So, I mean, it's like he almost wanted to be... A lot of these people don't want to be taken alive. That's what's interesting. But the Newtown, that was more like Vegas, where all the information was covered up. There's people who can show Anderson Cooper, and he's got a green screen behind him, acting like he's standing there, and he actually has his nose cut off. I've actually seen that. And other people were shooting far away. And what I remember from the children being shot, that one is, they called in for pizzas before they called. There's nothing about the ambulances coming or doctors. There's nothing like that. It's completely empty. I believe the children were shot, but who shot them? When I tuned in myself, I saw a live shot of this guy, and they said, "Oh, it's the shooter." He was dressed like the shooter in this camouflage and stuff, and he was running into the woods. And they went after him. They had the helicopter, and then they showed him being put into the police car, and then they let him go. Like he was. He says, "No, I'm with the FBI or CIA." He said he was with something, and they let him go. So I think it's very questionable. But now this Vegas thing, why aren't we getting information?
Yeah, I was just there. And by the way, yeah, you would make a great detective. Great detective.
Just call me Sherlock Ed.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Acid head Sherlock. Never mind.
I was just there. I was just in Vegas, and I seen the building. It looked like a pen. It's just a square. It almost looks like they can stick a whole bunch of. Looks like a sheep pen basically, or an animal pen. It's a square, and it locks up. You got the building right there, and then they had a little Pray for Vegas thing right on the corner, and everybody's just going about doing their thing. But yeah, I had weird vibes when I went past it. I was like, I can't, we can't control everything. We just gotta live our lives, and then you see stuff like that. You don't know how to process it, and or come to the truth of it sometimes. But that's why we're on this show, Corey's Conspiracies, to talk about this kind of stuff and a lot of other subjects. We have so many interesting subjects besides what we're talking about. We got a lot of comments rolling in, some more viewers watching. Yo, what's up?
Dude in Aurora was drugged up in court. Do you remember what he was doing? He was like this. He was like...
Oh, yeah. Or maybe he was he could have been an actor, maybe. They were like, act like you're just drugged up, man.
I think he was drugged.
He was fucked up.
Adam was drugged.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Maybe, yeah, you never know.
You know what's interesting? He rigged his apartment to blow up, they say. I think he did.
Huh.
But they got through it. Now, what's weird about this Las Vegas thing, I mean, his hard drive is missing, and his house was broken in. One of his houses. It turns out, the first headline was, gambler, and then it became successful gambler. At first it was bankrupt gambler, then it became successful gambler, then it was a guy with 5 houses around the United States who's been to Muslim countries. He travels, he gave... They first said 10,000, then it was 100,000 to his girlfriend's sister in the Philippines. And I don't know if you know this, but when it comes to selling war equipment, and you want to keep it under wraps, they use a lot of casinos.
Oh yeah.
To hide the money from the government, so there's no taxes, and also it's like they don't know who you sold it to, the equipment, war weapons, and so that's why Singapore is huge right now, and they talk about Chinese bankers. Chinese has the most billionaires or millionaires now. Well, a lot of them
buying up our land.
Well, they went to Hong Kong to the gambling casinos, and they got the American money from the Defense Department. Because they're just selling it to anyone. They're selling it to Islamic. ISIS was created by Obama and our good friend Hillary. I don't know if you voted for Hillary. I didn't. But I'm in California, so it really didn't matter now, did it? But I like being... I like Trump, if you don't mind me saying, because he's an outsider. He's not a Republican. He was a Democrat for years. And I like his attitude. He's like I love those insults. I don't know about you, but I love going to the YouTube and they have these 6-minute compilations like where he goes, "You're a liar. You're almost as bad a liar as Jeb." You know, I mean, it's hilarious. Of course, they say, "Oh, he's not presidential." He's the president I want. Go and insult everyone around the world, right?
Sometimes you have to do that to get places, I guess.
And you know, tell you the truth, you can't really be a nationalist. This is a globalist world. The bankers have taken over, right? But I like the idea of keeping some of our values, like our sovereignty. And even though I don't own a gun and never will, I've never even held a real gun, BB guns, I like the fact that there's fellow citizens around with guns. Because, you know, the Second Amendment is for you to own a gun to shoot up the government. That's what it's for. As a matter of fact, when the Constitution was written, there was no army. We were the army. American people, that's why you had guns. We were defending ourselves. There was not
like
allowed...
the Indians. We defend everything, you know, from...
Yeah.
Trying to,
But, we were the army. And it wasn't until the First World War, which started right after the Federal Reserve was created in 1913. We had World War I and World War II. They were making money off the Germans, off us. I mean,
it all goes around in a big circle. Every little small proxy war or anything, it's just money around it and control and all that stuff, or establishing new events and stuff.
What you got to do, though, is this is what
new agendas.
I think you got to accept this is what the world's about. It's the big fish eat the little fish, right? And these people are willing to murder. They're willing to abuse you to get their money. And just accept it. It's their way of living their lives. And I won't live that way. I like having as little money as possible. I just gave up my car. I told you that.
Yeah, the less things you have, the more.
And you don't get robbed. There's nothing you're going to lose. You're living your life for the now. Now, what do you think of that?
I believe that living for the now is where it's at, not worrying about the future. Of course, you can manifest or worry about the future and have plans. Uh-oh, I think we got a caller.
Nope, not yet.
All right.
We got a ring.
We got a ring. We had some comments up there.
Dude on the left is the only person higher than me.
Yeah, I think they're talking about maybe. I'm assuming me, maybe. I guess.
But you're not high, are you?
No, I'm not high. I haven't been high for a long time.
They might have been talking about me. I had my camera up.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and you know, by the way, you know, it's so interesting. Corey, you've asked me to be on your conspiracy show before, and today he's putting me on. And guess what's happening? Trump's putting out the JFK
Oh
information.
yeah.
Isn't that fascinating? So I'm very happy to be here. But now, if you want to talk about that at all.
That's interesting.
That's interesting. I have some things that are crossing my mind. And wait, we have a comment. Bob Dylan's grandma. Me and my friend dropped acid in Arizona and shot a .45. It was intense. I believe that. That's
excellent.
That is really intense. Just be careful. Don't point that thing at anybody.
Yeah.
If you want to point anything,
like, hey, give me your candy bar.
Point it at a banker. Point it at a banker.
I myself, this is pretty random. I don't want to talk about myself, but I actually was in a situation where I didn't have a gun, but I put a mask on near a bank, and things got serious. So you never know what can happen with a gun. Just be careful with it. But yeah, you don't want the police come after you. Anyways, I'm fascinated by, I remember a few years ago you were telling me about how the aliens are going to swoop down and just eat us.
Oh, that's mine. I've actually thought about this since I was a kid, and I felt we were basically a giant cattle breeding farm here on Earth. And they had the Twilight Zone, you know, it's like, it's a cookbook. Remember that one? It's like To Serve Man, it's called, that Twilight Zone episode, and all these aliens come down saying how they're here to... They're going to treat us really wonderfully and come up on the ship and we're going to take you home. And it turned out they had To Serve Man, and it was a cookbook. So anyway, I think we're being bred to be eaten by aliens. And basically when we reach a peak population, they will come down and swoop us up. And that will happen when we run out of food. Because the thing that limits us is oxygen, water, and food.
Wow.
Otherwise, you can have more and more people. They'll just be packed here. And now, as you know, with the FEMA camps, they have all those big, giant green coffins that hold 10 bodies. I figure what they could do is just set off some bombs, wipe out the atmosphere. We'll all die of lack of oxygen. And then we won't rot because there's no oxygen. And they'll stick us in these things, seal them up, and send us into space and sell us as popsicles on some sort of planet somewhere. What do you think?
Whoa, that is intense. And you never know, that could be a real thing. Who's to say that it isn't a real thing?
That could be. It could be some trade that's happening that on these aliens who are making the money and they're selling us. That could be. Our thousands of years could be like just minutes to them. So they could be like making sales here and there and everywhere.
And they could be the people giving the secrets of how to divide us to the humans. Those are the humans who went into the cave. They weren't afraid to go into that cave 2,000, 5,000 years ago that had the light inside. You've heard of those.
Yeah.
Those are in all the religions. And they might have gone in, and the alien said, "Hey, welcome. We're going to teach you how to treat your fellow man like a beast, like they're garbage, and you'll live high in the hog. Of course, your life won't be happy because we're not living as a group like we're supposed to be, but, you know, I guess, again, this is all theoretical, not necessarily conspiracy, because it's just theories by Corey and me alone. Of course, the other things are conspiracy theories, and we do the analysis. But those are written down. Those are written down, so there's got to be something to it. That is conspiracy. That's more than one person thinking about this, planning the crime, I suppose you'd say. And as a matter of fact, talking about JFK, conspiracy theory was never in the media until JFK. They used that because everybody was saying, "Oh, it was obviously not one person who shot. There was multiple people shooting." And they said, "Oh, that's conspiracy theory." And from what I understand, it was MI6 who came up with that expression. But I don't know that for a fact, okay? Because I don't know anyone personally at MI6. And I'm glad, because, you know, I'd probably be in trouble right now.
Yeah.
These are just two people talking. We have no power. We didn't sign any secret. What's it called when you can't talk about stuff?
A non-disclosure agreement.
Non-disclosures.
Thank you very much, Uncle Funkle.
Oh, you're welcome.
He's really very good technically. He's the technical genius.
Oh yeah, he really is.
And I'm very impressed.
Oh
very
yeah.
Impressed. Set this
So
up
far,
in
so
seconds.
good.
First time impressions mean everything, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so we got a lot of comments up there. I actually have a subject that I really want to talk about. It's really good and it's really interesting. I'll get to that in a moment. There was another guy on the left. We'll skip that one.
Yeah, they were talking about me. Yeah.
Yeah. What did Hawking say? If you shine a light in the dark, you might not like who comes to destroy you.
I didn't bail to make you look dumb. I bailed because my camera keeps freezing.
I like Biphomet.
We got
I need my people gluten free.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty funny.
We got Brandon Kelly. I'm a meat popsicle.
Actually,
Brandon Kelly's watching. Wow.
This guy says Lee Harvey Oswald, Bob Dylan's grandma, killed JFK. Right? I think that's what the release papers will say. But I think there's a guy called Hawk. I can't remember his first name. They based Ethan Hawke after him. And he, on his deathbed, he was a CIA guy, and he was actually in charge of killing JFK. And personally, someone told me, look at the chauffeur. Because after the first bullet...
Yeah, he's like looking.
The chauffeur turns around, and he actually puts his hand out. You'll see it in the Magruder tape. And he goes, bam! And then turns around and starts shooting. And that's when
he's like
Jacqueline
driving.
Kennedy goes nuts. And
Yeah,
I really think the chauffeur did the final bullet because his head goes back like it's supposed to, and that's so there's obviously more than one bullet. I just
Poor
can't
JFK.
It goes to show you too, like sometimes it's the most simple thing is what makes the most sense.
You're taught to look at Jacqueline. Oh, she's going after the brain, so you're watching her climbing out of the car. When it's right in front of you, this chauffeur just turning around. It's diversion, like you were just saying about diversion and racial warfare and religious and liberal versus conservative, Democrat versus Republican, dividing us. It's also sleight of hand. Sleight of hand, just like with the Kennedy assassination. And this has the same feel. The Vegas reminds me of the kid shooting, not so much the Colorado guy.
Well, this ties into what I wanted to talk about, and I actually know somebody that's a friend of mine that lives out in Joshua Tree, and you know, there's a lot of alien activities. She showed me alien activity
Very
videos.
spiritual.
Very spiritual, very connection between a lot of things that we don't know that I feel. I'm sure you guys hopefully been to Joshua Tree, Yucca Valley, the desert out there.
Beautiful.
It's very mystical. A lot of crazy, amazing things. Uncle Funkle had an experience out there. He talked about that before. But this ties into, I know somebody that works on movies. They have a big name for themselves. They try to be low key. But she showed me these documents explaining how the Charles Manson murders were all staged. And it's a full report about how all the crime scenes, you can pinpoint all the wrong things with all the crime scenes, about how the murder scenes and stuff and how it's plotted. And it's like a 200-page, 300-page article. And that was the first thing they did to start these propaganda mind-shifting experiments. That was one of the bigger ones. And it changed the world in a lot of ways, that one. That was huge.
Wait, which one?
The Charles Manson murders.
You think that was the government?
Well, I find it interesting because the documents that she showed me were really intriguing, and they were very convincing. And I don't like to believe anything, you know. There's all kinds of videos on YouTube or whatever, but I find it very fascinating because, you know, the media does it now. What makes them... It's a lot easier to get away with things in the past, and they've done it before. So who says that maybe it's not a maybe it is a conspiracy, and maybe actually it hasn't happened? Yes, the Charles Manson murders, you know? And it talks about all the individual crime scenes, and it shows the pictures and why the blood shouldn't be here, and the knife, and all these things, and it gets down to every single detail and everything you can possibly think about. And if anybody wants that, I can actually send it to you via email out there if you're willing to maybe donate a small amount on the show. And it's very heavy material. It's very disclosed, and it's not really put out into the public. It's actually material that's just kind of well kept from a friend. I don't know how she got it, but she told me that it's really rare to have, and I'm intrigued by it, and it's really sick. So if you guys want that for a small donation, I'll send it to you via email or however you want, and then you can decipher it yourself and decide maybe it is true or isn't. But I'm starting to believe that it's true from the more I read it and the more I look at it. And it's fascinating. It opens your eyes because not everything you see and not everybody that you hear and all the truth that you think that is truth is not always the truth. So
look at 9/11.
Yeah, 9/11, of course. Oh yeah.
Building 7.
Building 7
just collapsed. It obviously is a demolition now. People said that they had it in there, and the guy said, "Pull it." I believe that's probably true. I've heard it on video. That could be done. This is the thing with digital information these days. It can be easily altered. I'm sure you've seen the flying saucer. They have hundreds of them now, and maybe there's one or two that are real. But now, how do you know? Because there's so many fake ones. Now in 9/11, that is not fake. That building fell free fall at the speed of gravity, and it goes boom. You can see it, boom, 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 and you can see the building 7 fall. And as you know, I don't know if you know what was in that building, but there was FBI, CIA, several Secret Service organizations. There's not just CIA and FBI, there's multiple ones. Plus it had the mayor's office for emergencies. The emergency coordination was in that building. So if you wanted to have chaos, you'd get rid of that.
Yeah.
There's also Salmon Smith Barney, which is a stock company.
Wow.
And I've heard there was something like in the towers, they had gold in the basement, a lot of gold, which Germany wanted back and they never got it. And I heard this is possibly a conspiracy theory or just made up. I don't, you'll never know. But they said that in the very basement, you go deeper, there's this tunnel, and they found a truck with a few gold bars left, and that the majority, tons of gold was taken, they said. So maybe they did a coordinated attack, because also I heard people shorted the stock market on the buildings, I guess, and all the other stuff. So what's interesting is nowadays we have all this communication, like you're saying, in Charles Manson, we didn't quite have that much, but look how they covered up Vegas. It's incredible. It's incredible because the media just cuts it off. I mean,
and then they take control of people with cell phones, and they start doing a lot of things and arresting innocent people and treating them like cattle and stuff, even though they're innocent bystanders. Why would they be doing these things? What is going on?
Yeah.
How come we can't know the answers as a whole society and stick up for ourselves, and instead of being pushed around? And
so many people.
Billions of people, and
that's what does it.
It's shape-shifting the opinion and the mind, and these small amounts of people are for whatever agenda gets away with what they get away with. It's like robbing the biggest bank on earth, and everybody's in it, and there's only 2 people robbing the bank. They're doing it. It's crazy.
They own the bank they rob.
Yeah. I actually heard a conspiracy about there was a property war about the Vegas shooting, and they did something to maybe someone to buy the property.
I hadn't heard that.
I heard that conspiracy, something about someone trying to get back the property and build a new casino or something, so it's kind of, but who knows? Maybe that's all out there. You never.
I think what you got to be careful of is China. I heard that China talked to Steve Wynn, who talked to the government, to Trump, I guess, to get a gambler, a Chinese gambler, sent back that they wanted to interrogate and put in jail. And what's really interesting about the Vegas is they covered up everything immediately, right? And you're thinking, oh, well, that's the Mandalay, they're worried about lawsuits and stuff. But then Steve Wynn was talking about it. You know, he owns the Wynn Hotel and the W in Hollywood, as a matter of fact. But he was talking and saying, well, you know, we check everyone. If they come up to the room, we check out. When they leave, we check everything in the room. We're making sure they're all safe. Of course, we would never let them use the service elevator. And then he goes, oh, not that this guy used the service elevator. Turned out he did, because everybody's saying, how did he get all that ammunition and all those guns up there? He had to have had help. And then I'm sure you've heard...
Yeah. And then lift a bulletproof glass window that weighs like so much weight, that's super heavy, and there's all kinds of things to list that you can't singly do in this amount of time with all these cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, how come...
And we haven't seen one video.
Simple things that people are not talking about. People
Did you hear about the women who were in the audience of the concert saying, you're going to be killed, you're going to die tonight? Do you remember hearing
I've
that?
heard stuff like that, yeah.
I think that was someone who worked at the hotel. Went out.
That knew what was going on.
And knew what was going on, you know,
and they're freaking out. They're just like, what's going on? The only thing I can do is obviously do my right part and try to get this out or whatever like that.
Now, I've also heard that people who actually have major guns like GIs, they can say you can hear a belt-fed shooting. That's one of the real, 50 caliber? They say you can actually hear it, and I'm sure you heard the taxi cab, how in the lady in the taxi cab, you can hear close by, you hear, or actually you hear it in the distance, and then you hear close by, bang, 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 without the echo. So it was at least 2, but I hear it was an ISIS attack. ISIS has already taken, have claimed it to be a terrorist attack. And I think they're covering it up. They don't want people to know that information. But again, now that's where we get into theory. Because we will never have the full information, especially now that they've covered it up so fully. I would like to see some of the Mandalay videos of him entering the building and leaving. That I'd like to know.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, I'm sure you heard today or yesterday, the shooter's brother was just arrested, I'm not sure where it was, with child pornography.
Huh.
Yeah.
Maybe they do these things to make it look really bad, so they can make money off of people in society, because that stuff's sick and wrong. But maybe these people that are doing these things are doing that. Maybe they're into child pornography, and they're into organ salvaging and child trafficking.
Satanists? A lot of
Satanists, and absolutely. So they're getting the
Back
kick
to
of
the
it.
Illuminati.
They're throwing it out there. Back to the Illuminati. You know, it's funny because nowadays the Illuminati word is so washed up, and it just if you say anything
Overused.
Illuminati, people are just like they get, I don't know. Some people just don't want to go there once they hear Illuminati. They veer out of the conversation in the circle.
Hey, someone said Disneyland.
Disneyland. Oh yeah, we got a lot of comments. Actually, we got so much to talk about. We're missing a lot of these comments. Let me read some of these. What about the Israeli art students?
I don't know about these.
Yeah, I don't know. Six Morgoth. I can't really read that. Sorry.
We call him Morgoth.
Yeah, the glare on the screens is bright. That's all. But okay. What about the art students?
666.
Could you tell us that? We don't know anything about that. You're more than welcome to call this show.
I'd have to know more information.
I'd love to know more information about it. I'm sure we could connect the dots maybe. You can help us with that. Anything that you guys want to talk about throughout there, feel free.
I can tell you about Disneyland. This is my own personal experience.
Disneyland, here we
Would
go.
you like me to tell you about this?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, Disneyland, action!
Did I tell you about this before?
You've talked about Disneyland multiple times.
Well, in 1998, my new girlfriend, she said, why don't we go to Disneyland? Because I kept telling her how much I love Disneyland. So we went, and she says, hey, you should buy the premium pass, or buy the pass, the year pass, and we can save money and come back again. So I bought her one, and I got one. And I was retired at the time. My dad had died, left me a small inheritance. I started going to Disneyland a lot, 2-3 times a week. Okay, now I was on chat rooms back then, on the news groups, actually, Disney, Alt Disney, Disneyland, and constantly writing, and we were sending trip reports. Okay, 6 days before 9/11, I was there. Some people had been writing saying, what's the emptiest day at the park? And we would just eat, everybody would answer it. And I knew that Wednesday and Tuesday were going to be the emptiest time. There was, because you go by the hours, and it was like closing at 6. I didn't realize that it was a cast member party. And so they closed at 6, and actually you're allowed to stay. If you're in the park and you don't leave, you can stay for the party. They let you. Anyway, so I answered the guy. 6 days before 9/11, I believe that was Wednesday, and I'm at the park. And I'm walking through Fantasyland by the, that Pinocchio, the restaurant thing, and and there's the Dumbo, and here's Alice in Wonderland behind me. And I saw all these people in Saudi Arabian garb. And it was the sheets of it. They weren't like towels like Iraqis. It was sheets. This was like Lawrence of Arabia. And there was a lot of them, like 20 of them, and they were walking. And as I walked by, they were very tall, like to hear. But one guy turned around and went, right in my ear, this guttural yelling. And then I look, and there's this woman dressed in a black burqa, but it was form-fitting. You could see her beautiful body. I mean, she was good-looking, but her face was covered. It was black. And she went, like she didn't care. And I saw it, and I saw 2 kids, and I walked up right by her, and she went silent. Okay, so later on, I saw they had everything set up by the Rivers of America. That's the river that goes around the Tom Sawyer's Island. And I came back around, and I was walking down Main Street to the hub. And at the hub, that's where they have the statue of Mickey and Walt. And at the hub, Center Disneyland, right there, halfway on the street, halfway on that little island in the middle, were the 20 terrorists. They had their backs to everyone, and they were white robes, and they were kneeling slightly. And it was the oddest thing. Because at first I didn't see him. I saw Mary Poppins. So I went, hey, and I was going to go get her autograph. But at Disneyland, if you start to walk towards an amusement, people see where you're looking. So somebody, they saw me going towards Mary Poppins, and 10 people run in front of me to get pictures with her. So I just said, nah, the heck with it. And I go, Mary Poppins, step in time, right? Just to say hi. I'm an idiot. And then I hear this kid go, oh, Mary Poppins! And I look down, and there's this kid dressed in a suit with the sheet on his head and holding it down. And then a little girl in a, pink princess thing, but with the Muslim thing on her head. She goes, Mary Poppins! So I was like, after you, after you. And I look over, and here's this oval of people, bent knees, and one was facing out. And I believe it was sheathed in black. And I had never heard, I wasn't following Israel. I knew nothing about what was happening over there or who Osama bin Laden was until 2 days after, and they put his picture on, and this was the guy I saw 6 days before 9/11, and he was facing out, looking at me, and I go, after you, sir, because I thought he was with the kids. And he said to me, he said, thank you, really hatefully, I mean incredibly hatefully at me.
Oh, wow.
And it's I felt weird, right? But the heads were here's the oval, and in the fulcrums, a head would pop up and then drop down. Then a head would pop up and drop down. They just basically stand up, take pictures, and drop down. So I was a fatter than now, a chubby kid, and I had my fanny pack with my camera in it. And I was thinking, God, I should take a picture of this. And I dropped my hand on my fanny pack. And then suddenly, one of the heads popped up, and it didn't go back down. And the oval of all these people with their backs, white robes, parted, and he started coming out towards me. And it's the only time at Disneyland I actually felt fear. I felt scared. I knew something was up. And so I went, bye, have fun. And I'm very good at crowd surfing by then. I'd been to Disneyland so much, you learn how people move. So I just went through the crowd, stopped, and by the Kodak where
So you got away, basically.
I turned around and I looked back, and I saw the guy go back in, and they were laughing. Him and Osama bin Laden, and the guy dropped down again. And Osama bin Laden waddled back. He had his knees bent, waddled back, and he was actually, I made him smile. So I think maybe I saved Disneyland from being blown up. But they weren't even listing it as a major terrorist threat in California. They had it listed as 5. LAX had more terrorist attacks than any other place in California. I think there was, at the time, 5 terrorist attacks.
Oh, wow.
You don't hear about them, but then they listen.
No, because they want people to fly there, and they got a business and stuff.
Afraid.
There's always guns.
Same with Disneyland.
Same with Disneyland. I believe it.
So anyway, 2 days later, suddenly they have all the 20 terrorists, and I'm going, oh my God, that's the guy.
But they were used as the terrorists for 9/11. So basically, you're saying you've seen Osama bin Laden at Disneyland. And then
yes.
his estate, it's kind of...
And several of the other faces that were supposedly killed in the 9/11 attacks in the airplanes. I think they probably were involved, but I've heard so... this is what I'm saying. It becomes theory.
They're just...
But I saw Osama bin Laden at Disneyland. And then George Bush, he's on good old George Bush, whose brother was in charge of security at the buildings. And they had electricians in there for days with badges who were just going in and out, setting the charges. But anyway, he gets on and says, oh, go to Disneyland, spend your money, have fun. And I heard he met with Eisner. I saw this thing. Eisner and Dennis Quaid went down for some movie, a hockey movie or something. But suddenly the park was empty after 9/11. And I basically had it to myself, and all these people started talking to me. I met the president. It was Cynthia Harris, I believe her name was, and they started letting me go in the front. I'd go on the Space Mountain, sit in the front row, come out this. You want to go again? Sure. You want to go again? No, I'm getting sick from all this. And it's like everywhere I got to go first. They even started this single rider pass because I was always by myself at that time. My girlfriend didn't want to go anymore. She got sick of the place because she doesn't like crowds. And she's like, ooh. But I loved it. And so they had single rider where you could go through the exit and take an empty seat. I was constantly going. for
Nice.
a long time until it got crowded again, and now it's back. I haven't been in since, 2008.
So we got a lot of stuff to catch up with and to keep the show rolling.
Okay.
And that is very heavy, and I can't believe that we have somebody on the show as a guest that's seen Osama bin Laden.
Acid Head Ed.
Acid Head Ed.
That's
I'm
what
sorry.
I called myself. Acid Head Ed.
Acid Head Ed is on the show, and he clarified that he's seen Osama bin Laden at Disneyland with a lot of the people that were so called apart.
They were all there.
They were all there that were supposedly a part of 9/11.
I think they were. Now, you do know that they were openly living in San Diego.
They were openly living
There
in
was a
San
house.
Diego.
So I think this was the queen or the princess who was in the black burqa, and I bet they were staying at that new hotel that opened for California Adventure. And I think that's
First
where
class.
they were probably in the bridal suite or penthouse or whatever.
Oh, you're...
And you also know after 9/11 they were allowed to fly out of the country. While all air traffic was canceled, they were allowed to fly 2 days later. The Bin Laden family. And they weren't just in Florida studying flying airplanes. You know, they were in San Diego, openly living. So, I mean, I think it was coordinated, don't you?
Absolutely.
With
a lot
our
of stuff.
government. There was also, as you know, Dick Cheney called down, there was a drill for the Air Force. And people said, wait, there's airplanes attacking the buildings, the Twin Towers? Is this part of the drill? Is this part of the drill? More confusion, more diversion. And I heard Dick Cheney called down some group that wanted to go in. That's what I heard. And I mean, if you trust Dick Cheney, I feel sorry for you. And I'd like you to lend me a lot of money, and I'll pay you back on Tuesday. Anyway, that's supposed to be a joke. Okay, go ahead.
We got a lot of comments rolling in. Do you think Bin Laden is really dead? I personally think he's alive and well. He's just a character that's used as a face puppet for the whole thing that they pulled, or agenda, or whatever, you know, the event, world event that happened. Probably sitting back and enjoying himself and doesn't have anything to worry about and is high up with the elitist. Maybe he has, you know...
Do you mind if I go on?
Oh, yeah, go on.
Well, I told everybody about seeing Bin Laden and the 19 terrorists. All my good friends, no one would believe me. My stepmother said, oh, you saw a Saudi Arabian family, but it wasn't the terrorists. That's the most she would give me. The only person who believed me was my friend
I believe you.
from New York, who was an alcoholic, and he goes, oh, yeah, I believe it, right? So it took me a long time to respond, but I had written this thing. I was going to send to the new Alt Disney Disneyland news group. I was going to write. I wrote a 19-page trip report about it, and then I thought, well, you know, I should. This is before 9/11, right? So I said, you know, I don't want to seem like a racist or anything, so I'm not going to send it, because why should I point out these Saudi Arabians? Because every nationality, every country goes to Disneyland. It's like the United Nations. I've always loved it. And I thought, yeah, don't point them out. You just don't know what their habits are or their culture. So I didn't send it. But then later I rewrote it with more information. Osama bin Laden, his headset. This was what was really amazing. He had the sheet on his head. It was in black. He was wearing black. And he had this gold. It was 4 knots. It was like a rope. It looked like a rope. It was cast from a rope. But it was gold. And it was holding the sheet on his head. That was what he was wearing. So I wrote... I didn't trust the CIA. I trusted the FBI. So I wrote the FBI. I wrote Dianne Feinstein. And Ted Kennedy. 19 pages telling everything about what I saw. And I noticed that after I wrote that, first of all, at Disneyland, they started having higher and higher security. They started blocking the entrances with these buses that look like those cars. What are those cars on the rails? trolley cars.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're actually buses. They started blocking it. They started having this. I saw this one van that actually checked for biological diseases. It was bio something, and hazmat or something. And it was weird because it actually could go up 2 flights. It was on those accordion things. But so I wrote and I sent that. I was followed in L.A. I used to go to Griffith Park a lot and walk. And one time I went and I started going my paths. And when I came back, there was 20 black SUVs zipping up and down. And I just stood in the shadows watching them. And then I said, the heck with this, it doesn't matter, And I walked out and then they just drove away. I think they protected me in Hollywood a few times where people came in groups and I'm not sure. You see, because I was very high at this time. And so I can't tell, but police would suddenly show up and I'd just walk out and they'd handle things that were happening. So I figured they weren't trying to kill me. They probably were impressed. I was probably one of the only ones to actually write them about the sighting. I heard James Woods, the actor, notice them also on the plane, and a lot of his comments were very similar to mine. He said they were guttural, they were negative to the women, and he actually reported it to the hostess on the airplane, and wrote the government, and they actually came and visited him. They didn't talk to me directly. I guess it's because I'm a big mouth and I was telling anybody who would listen about it, but nobody believed me at the time except for Corey, which he understands.
Yeah, that's their thing. Anybody that sees anything or anybody out there that always has some conclusion of things or believes things over the public opinion is always looked down upon or whatever, or people just don't want to hear it. But I know a lot of you guys out there have a lot of opinions and a lot of things that you want to talk about and a lot of beliefs or skeptical or you're open to conspiracies or the truth or anything.
To sell products or something?
Yeah. Well, there's actually, if you guys want to make some donations to keep the show going, I'm selling some very 300-plus document page about the Charles Manson murders and how they're staged. And you can decide for yourself, and I know it sounds crazy because the media puts it in your faces and all you see is this and that about it. And what makes you think that it is not a conspiracy? What makes you think that it might be the opposite? Are you going to believe the media? Are you going to believe the same people that have been doing these current events for years and years? Are you going to maybe look way past it and behind it?
Well, we know 9/11 was a conspiracy. It was
Yeah.
more than one person. If it's two people, it's a conspiracy. If they work together to cause a crime. But the thing is, it's only theory after that. Of course, we know the Bush family's involved. Because Granddaddy Bush, Prescott Bush, he was making his money selling armaments to the Nazis in World War II. And he used that money to push Richard Nixon for president. I'm sure you heard of that. He put an ad in the paper saying, are you willing to say anything and do anything for money? And he answered it. Nixon answered it. And they said, okay, we're going to run you for president. And that money was used to push George Jr., W, into the presidency. That's all Nazi money. I mean, and the royal family, they bought their title. They're German. They're Austrian. And in the...
This is all heavy information, and we have a very special guest on the show, Acid Head Ed, and I like things heavy, and this is very heavy. We're getting very good, vital information. Pre-Bake says Acid Head Ed rules.
Oh,
we got
thank
a
you
lot.
very
We got
much.
welcome to the. We got new chats. Hey bros from Beefy6996. This man Ed is actually a goddamn Acid Head Ed.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just a human.
He's just a human, he said. Thank you. He appreciates that. I appreciate that. Thank you for looking within. Yeah, tell people. How old is this
I'm not
dude?
lying.
He's
Tell
curious
the
to
truth.
see how young you are.
None of your business.
None of your business. I think you're...
Shh. I'm older than you think. Okay, I'll tell you. I'm 63.
63.
63. I'm a very, if you want to be young, walk.
Walk?
Don't use cars. Walk everywhere. Eat healthy.
Eat healthy. Yeah, I agree with that
Don't
one.
drink or smoke. I gave up.
Yeah.
I was an alcoholic. I've been off for 25 years.
They want us doing those things.
But stress-free is what matters.
Stress-free.
As little stress, as few bills. I don't care about money. I care about people and spirituality.
Yeah,
I look
live
at
on an
someone and
island,
say,
be happy, surf, wake up, just take it easy, and don't be stressed out there. A lot of people in this world are more and more stressed, I notice, because it's getting harder out there, especially in the middle of America.
It's hard if you make it hard.
Yeah, it's hard if you make it hard, that's true.
Especially if you get married and you have to take care of a woman who wants a house and clothes and stuff.
You run away. I'm joking.
I'm single. No, I wouldn't run away.
It is very hard in a lot of ways because society makes up, the governments and all these things make up our rules and how we're supposed to live. And
that's how they control us.
Yeah, that's how they control us. And if I was to have children, I wouldn't want them to go to schools. I would want to be living on an island and having us run around naked and surf and teaching them the very fine things of life. But that's really hard to do out there, and they'll probably arrest you and say, your kids are not going to school. Now, Mr. Haupt, you're going to jail. We're going to take your kids. We're going to, this is a little out there, but we're going to rape them and salvage their organs, and we're going to get away with it. That's kind of
they do that in China.
Yeah, they do that in China.
They have vans that are refrigeration.
The white vans. We talked about this last time on the show.
They just pick up the bodies and chop them up and send the parts out.
I was in Vegas and I seen some Chinese, very lovely ladies, some guys, all standing on the main street of Vegas Boulevard, and they're holding up signs saying, "You American people, let people come over and salvage our family members' organs and stuff." This stuff is really happening. There's a lot of people in China. There's a lot of poor people. These things are happening, and none of us are really aware of them or care because we got our own lives and we're distracted by the American dream. And there's just so much corruption and crazy stuff going on in the world.
Okay, what do you say? Rules suck. Less government, more fun.
Yeah, I agree. But I also believe that there has to be some sort of control in a certain way to keep a society. And
I think we naturally treat each other.
I agree.
I think all these horrible things are actually created. I think that's part of the conspiracy.
That's true. You're right. It's like freeing the drug war and stuff. Less people start, good things happening. People start adapting to the good.
I think people would be doing what you say. They'd be, I don't know about you, but I do as little as I have to do. So I'd be sitting around, eating, having sex, whatever, playing my guitar. And these people who go nuts and say, I gotta shoot up everyone, and they plan and construct, they're obviously being told to do it, or what do you think? Why do you think these people do it?
I don't know.
I know bankers, all they care about is their money, and they're driven to have more money than other people. It seems horrible to me. I like looking in someone's eyes, and I see spirit. I see the Holy Ghost. I hope you don't mind religion, but I love it. It's great because it's been around for so long, and everything's in there. Nothing has changed. There's the bad people, the good people, and you have angels telling you what's right and what you should do all over the place. Look in someone's eye. You'll see that living spirit. It's you. That's what's in your eyes. Honestly.
Oh, yeah. I've been hearing, I don't know how this came about, but if you're true to yourself and you're very divine on how you are and you're not letting the world decipher yourself, then you're more of your spirit, and then you can learn all these things, but you have to stay true to who you are and ground yourself. Therefore, you're true to yourself. But if not, you're letting these things take over and making things make you and having them become you. It's like a reflection to the outer world and outside of us that we're not ourselves, basically, and we're being taken over upon a lot of things. Someone was telling me that the other day, or I've seen something, but it kind of made sense to me. But I'm not. A lot of people don't I don't like to label religion or put a label on it, but I think spirituality and all that stuff, it does exist, and there's a lot of windows and doorways and a lot of things out there that do exist, and they obviously have to exist with everything else. It all ties together. it could be like paranormal stuff. You know, that's its own thing. It's all tied together.
I've never tried sensory deprivation except by getting drunk, maybe. But
we got a lot. Yeah, we got a lot. What comedies?
Do you think they want people doing drugs and alcohol so they can easily discredit them and make their argument invalid? No, I think they want people doing drugs and alcohol so that they can have their ideas and values slipped into them, and also they're less of a threat. And actually, I started calling myself Acid Head Ed because then I felt I would tell people about Osama bin Laden and other things that have happened to me. And by calling myself Acid Head Ed and being on the boulevard, I used to be on Hollywood Boulevard with a clown mask running for president since 2007. Acid Head Ed for president of the United States. I'm actually on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. On a pedestrian question, it was on 420, and it was, have you ever smoked pot? If you type that in Google, you'll see me at 3:33, 3 minutes and 33 seconds. I have 13 seconds as Acid Head Ed on national TV. I think it's 13 million views, 12 million. Anyway, by calling myself Acid Head Ed, I figured you could say, oh, he's just on acid, he's insane. Or you could say, he's the truth teller. Because as you know, acid, LSD, is a truth drug. It's used to get people's secrets. That's what it was developed for by the lab in...
Oh, yeah, I've seen the videos where they give people acid and then they ask them questions. And then
Ultra.
Yeah,
yes.
I've seen videos, funny skits where they say, "Oh, this guy gave us this vital information. Now he knows it, so let's just kill him." Like after they did the LSD experiment, they're like, "Now let's just get rid of him because now he knows, but he gave us the truth." So,
you want to go back to Vegas? The girl who talked and had the video of saying there was a second shooter, she died.
She died,
and there was
heavy.
She was killed.
They say that she did drugs, or they don't want
even said it.
They don't want anybody to connect any dots. They don't want to put it out there. They want to
all
cover it all up.
All that's in the paper, in the media, is she died. And then there was another one. She was putting together a group of people who said, "Hey, there was a second shooter." One in the crowd. 2 of them have died now, been killed. The guy who was, remember, shot, and they've changed the timeline. Turned out he went, I believe, to Mexico. He took off in a car. He was supposed to be on Hannity's show. Took off. Where is he? He's on Ellen. He's on Ellen's show. That's where he talks, and she controls the conversation. And it turns out she's got, what are those things? One-armed bandits for Ellen in the Mandalay Hotel. So she's involved with the money. Right there. Isn't that something?
Yeah, or she's just controlled and just MK Ultra or something. You never know, man. It's a crazy world out there, that's for sure.
Full spectrum dominance is what it's called. Full spectrum
dominance.
Yes. So you can't completely get out of the cage. They own the government, the judicial, they own the schools, and the media, the news groups, if you want to include
no matter who you are, no matter how famous you get on a higher level, you're going to be underneath it all and enslaved into it in a certain sense. Not necessarily, because there's way more light through it all and behind it, but even people like Bob Dylan and Tom Petty talk about how you pay your dues and you're enslaved underneath it all. We all are, you know? People trying to take over this world and trying to control it and stuff.
Bob Dylan says he sold his soul to the devil.
Yeah.
I sold my soul to the devil.
I've seen that one before.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about this the past few days, and you know, even though there's remarkable artists and bands and all these people out there that are really rad and killing it, none of them will ever affect the world like people did a long time ago. Like, you know, like big artists that were more in the mainstream at the time, because there's so many people distracted, so many things, people doing things. So to get your message out to the whole world will never exist like it used to, like maybe the Beatles and stuff. But then again, there's people that a long time ago, they were like, who are the Beatles? You know, that didn't exist in my world and stuff like that. But I don't think anybody in this world will get their message out to the world on
The
major.
Beatles were part of it.
Oh yeah, they were
the
symbolism
bankers.
and all that stuff. But no one's gonna be able to get their message out and try to, free this world or do whatever they want. It's like the kid in class standing up saying, "I don't want this lunch anymore," and the whole school system needs to know that's not gonna exist anymore. It's only gonna maybe exist in the classroom, and it's not gonna exist in the whole school. It's all control, man.
You know what one woman told me the other day from a record company? I can't remember her name.
A record company.
Yeah, and but she said, yeah, there's full spectrum dominance. The bankers control a lot, but they don't control everything.
They don't control everything, of course.
So you look for that.
Oh yeah.
And I think people are really starting to get this thanks to computers and the internet. It's instant messaging. There's no way to completely control that at all.
They can't control everything. They're trying to.
Now, what you say, though, about getting your message across, I find I don't even have to say stuff anymore. Everybody's already saying it.
Yeah,
so
they're catching on. Gaining consciousness.
It's great reinforcement, so I don't need to talk. I've done my saying. I've talked. And if I need to share, I will. But I'm letting other people talk. I love it. I love listening to people. And
so let's...
Yeah.
I feel as if... Sorry, audience. We got a lot of comments that we didn't answer. Yeah.
I've been talking. I'm sorry. I've been babbling.
We got Beefy6996, and when is Trump putting those JFK files out?
I hear some of the Secret Service want more redacted, so he's actually holding some back.
Yeah, I was reading that.
Yeah, so you're going to get some documents, but I think those are heavily redacted. And I think we're pretty sure already it's going to just say single shooter, Harvey Oswald, and you won't hear the story. You already know that. But you might hear a couple of little things, a couple of little things that you can extrapolate on, but you're not going to hear the truth, of course. And so it becomes a theory.
A theory. So many theories out there, and so many more theories and more theories and
Keep
more
them
theories.
coming.
They just never end.
This Vegas thing, though. That's
Everything is a theory. Everything that you see and everything that you think of, it becomes a theory.
Well, you got to remember, these people are willing to kill for their power and their money. And do you really want to do that? I don't.
Oh, we're gonna call.
Uh-oh, we got a caller. Caller, hold on 1 second. 1 second.
Oh, he locked himself out.
Funkle is actually going to
There
answer
he
the
goes.
call right now. So we're gonna answer your call.
All right, let's see. Caller, you're live on the Narcades Network.
How's it going? Welcome to Corey's Conspiracies. How are you? What's your name, man?
My name is Jason. How are you guys doing?
We're doing
Hey,
good.
Jason.
Where are you calling from, Jason?
From Huntington Beach.
Awesome, Huntington Beach.
Hell yeah.
What do you want to talk about? Do you have anything to say, or
Ask
Yeah,
the
I just wanted to see if you guys know anything about Project Monarch.
I've definitely, it's been on the show before. People brought it up. Do
Is
you know
that
any?
the sex teaching girls to be basically prostitutes for the rich?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, they do that. You can see
Or the
it.
Finders. I don't know if you guys have talked about the Finders.
Tell us about the finders.
It's supposed to be like a CIA front for smuggling children.
Yes.
It's been on the internet.
Yeah.
It's not very talked about too much, but you guys should check it out.
Well, they say Hillary has been smuggling kids and is into child prostitution, supposedly killing children, and that's why they're in Haiti. Because I know she's into voodoo.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
think that was part of the whole Pizzagate stuff.
Well, that was their distraction. They talked about that pizza shop in, where was it, San Francisco or something?
Washington, D.C.,
Yeah.
I believe.
And that had nothing to do with the menus that they were talking about, which were from the party on that guy's island. What's that guy's name with the jet? The Lolita Express?
Yeah, I know. I can't remember his name right now, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Epstein. And him and
Epstein.
Bill. Yeah. And supposedly, from what I understand, the reason they're so involved in Haiti is to have a supply of children to send there, and they disappear. It's like they come in and then they're gone. But I don't. How can you know for sure? Could be just someone.
How can you know?
You can't, unless you're one of those children. It's sad to say.
Yeah.
You never know unless you're actually there to see it.
Now I do know another thing though about Haiti. The guy who sells the phones in Mexico, the richest man in the world. What's that guy's name? I forgot.
Virgin Mobile guy? Oh no! Wait,
well, he sold all the Obama phones. He's this Mexican guy. He was involved in the Haiti investments with the Clintons. They were going to mine. There was lots of minerals, and they were going to mine it. And there was a woman down there who was studying that, and then she found out about the child. What do they call it? Human trafficking of children.
Uh-huh.
And then she died. She was killed. She disappeared. So that's...
Yeah, that's kind of interesting too, how people just disappear, they become suicidal.
Suicide.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, I think...
Yeah, like there's 4 people, I guess, that were witnesses at the Las Vegas shooting that said there was more than one shooter, and they've all turned out dead
all
now.
4 of them?
From so-called suicide.
I heard of 2, so now you're saying there's 4. Wow.
We got to be careful because,
yeah,
sorry
I have to leave right now.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
Actually, you know, I think about these things, and this show is very underground, and, you know, there is stuff that goes on in this world, and if you really start to try to uplift the truth or really try to put it out and fight for what's right, things get fishy and things do happen.
My name's Corey.
My name's Marijuana Ed. And this ain't my face. Neither is my blood and my fingerprints. But you know what? Whatever. I'm standing up tall to give back, and that's what I live for.
Fuck it. What's the worst that could happen, right?
Exactly.
I mean, like, have you guys heard? There's like 3 or 4 different audio recordings from Vegas, and there was one woman who was in a taxi cab.
Yes.
Right when it was happening, and she's recording, and it sounds like there's 3 different shooters at least.
Oh yeah.
By the way,
I've seen videos on just YouTube. You hear the guns and stuff, and this, you hear it, and they're rapidly going, and it's more than one, and then you hear people looking in different directions, and there's too much going on, and it's. Oh, yeah.
I think the thing about the taxi cab that's so interesting is because before you could say, oh, it's the echo, but instead you hear the bap, 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 bap first in the distance, and then right above her head, there's the bap, 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 bap. So you knew there was at least 2 guns. Now, I've heard there was 3 shooters at least, and they're covering up the Tropicana Hooters incident where 17 people were killed in Hooters. But again, I've seen a video of the ambulances, but not necessarily anybody saying there was 17 killed. But I believe there was 17. So I think it's an ISIS terrorist event. And I think the reason it's covered it up is I think this is part of Obama. I think this is his 30,000 people who are to stir up trouble, the resistance. They killed what? They were killed Republicans. These were country music fans. And now, I know a lot of people don't like country music, and they might say, well, of course they killed the country music fans. Nobody likes country music. I'm sorry, that's a joke. But honestly, you know, those are probably Trump supporters, and they're thinking, okay, we're going to change the vote. That's what I think, myself.
You never know.
That is true, because they never really said anything about how those people could have been targeted for their so-called political beliefs.
And they say...
They're country music fans, and then, of course, they're probably Trump fans and Christians or whatever, because they like country music.
Of course.
Which can be true, it might not be true.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. But the thing also is, the reason you know it's true is they've never told you whether this guy who shot, that they say it's the single guy, whether he was a Democrat or a Republican. They say, oh, he had no political views, his brother said. Well, his brother said a lot of lies. So, we know what's going on here. And they say he visited...
And also, I guess his older brother or something just got arrested for child porn, too.
Yeah, mentioned that earlier, right. But I know that this guy who killed, he went to a Muslim country. He was there studying. So I believe it's Obama. I feel Obama. The same as in Charlestonville or whatever that was. I felt that was a complete setup. You know, oh, we're going to have them hate white nationalists and Nazis. I mean, really, how many Nazi demonstrations are there really? There might be more now. But I know the guys involved were actually Hillary supporters. The head of the white nationalists gave money. The head of the Nazi gave money to the Clintons. That's what I hear. And I think it's on record. So I think it was all a setup to create, as Corey was talking about, division of the country. Create identity politics so that, you know, you hate the white guys and whatever. Right?
Yeah, it's something nefarious, and I think it probably falls more along those lines than anything else.
You know, it's so funny.
And I think there probably definitely is an intel to the sides of it, because this guy seemed programmed to me from the stuff that I've read, you know.
You know, the theories I've heard is that he was killed, and they have him as the setup, and it was actually CIA agents blown away in several different positions, and they use him as the fall guy. He's a gambler, spirit, but you tell me, this is the theory part. This is the theory part.
Yeah.
Because they've covered their tracks.
All right, guys.
Okay,
well,
Jason.
You guys go.
Thank you
Thanks,
for that
Uncle.
call. That
You
was
guys keeping up. Love your show.
Oh yeah, thank you. Love you too. That was a really good call.
Thank you, Jason. I love your show too.
Oh, thank you. It wouldn't be anything. It wouldn't. It would. Oh yeah.
Peace.
Have a good night. Oh yeah, let's get to the. I'll talk about the peace sign in a minute. But yeah, this show wouldn't be anything without you guys out there. Without Uncle Funkle putting it on tonight. Without Acid Ed. We got some comments up there. This is probably one of the best streams I've come across. Thank you, Jeffaholics. Murdoch Fox owns Vice Media now. Fuck, I knew it. I don't like Vice too much. There's a lot of good things that come from Vice, but I've met some people. I met this girl, Geneva Jacuzzi or something, that worked for Vice, and she quit because she was like, Vice is bullshit. They fucking lie. They're controlled. It's just to make money and all that shit. It's not about the truth. It's not about going all the way. They cut the wheel, man. They cut the wheel on going all the way and going hard. They make a sharp left or right. A lot of people do that. A lot of media and stuff does that. Alex Jones does that.
I love Alex Jones, but he's a nut, right?
Yeah.
And
if
I
it's
think
the real one.
Well, you know what? I actually started writing Alex Jones, and he will listen to you and change his pattern. Then he says he claims everything you tell him. He says, "Oh, I've been saying that for years," right? But if you actually listen,
that for years.
and if you listen to his old things, he never said it the way. So I actually gave some vocabulary to him. But what he does is he starts ranting and raving and acting mad and crazy, and any really truthful thing gets hit by the insanity.
I feel like he's
so he's a cover-up.
Yeah, he's a cover-up, and he has his own part to. They're allowing him.
But
to do
I
this.
love him. I love listening to it. It's so much fun, you know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the thing that's so funny is he says, "I'm not the Secret Service. I'm not in the CIA." But then he'll start next sentence talking about, "Oh yeah, my uncle, he was a CIA, and he'd tell me these things and say, oh, this is all secret. I can't go into it anymore. And my father was approached by the Illuminati, but he didn't join." And so he's. I mean, really, to be able to
He just wants attention.
Well, he's also, it's called a disinformation agent.
Disinformation agent.
Yeah. Because then you think, well, if you think these things, then you're nuts like Alex Jones. He's nuts, right? And then, as you say, it's like, I used to watch CNN and NBC, ABC, and Alex Jones, and I never watched Fox, but now I'm watching Fox. And lately, it's just the censorship on CNN is just horrifying to me. While the Fox channel is pro-Trump, and they also will, ignore certain things. So you just got to understand, these are powerful people, and they know how to play the game, don't they? You and I'm dumb. I was taught to love my neighbor and enjoy life, and if I was in a band thinking if I played really good, I'd be the Beatles, like you were talking about. But you know what? There's millions of people out there with bands. There's millions of people writing scripts. There's millions of actors and actresses. They're chosen. The people they choose are the ones to say the value systems they want to teach you. They want to, one thing you'll always hear from both conservative and Republicans, oh, you got to pay your taxes. You actually don't pay them. Make them come after you. If everybody stopped paying their taxes, and there's no reason to do it. The banks give out loans that are just pieces of paper. They type it into the computer, and then you have to pay them real cash that you slave for. Go on.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think it's fun for everybody to be being a criminal or anarchist is a good thing in a lot of ways. Because if everybody was like that, then the real big criminals that are getting away with everything couldn't get away with what they're getting away with. Well, you know, everybody's walking around, you know, oh, love thy neighbor and do everything right. Well, guess what? Fuck the system. That's the way I think. Every day, you know, what other people might think what's right or wrong is not if you're hurting one another, but you have to wake up. You have to put your X-ray vision goggles on and start seeing through everything that is out there and start thinking that way. And then also trying to put that out there to thy neighbor and the people for them to be aware of it. That way we can truly change everything. But overall,
what do you think of Antifa?
Say it again?
Antifa, anti-fascist groups.
Anti-fascist
that are fascists. But what do you think? They're not anarchy. They're actually pushing political agendas.
Oh, I believe it.
I like pure anarchy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm all into the pure anarchist.
They seem to be the most honest, and I really believe if everyone was an anarchist, like you're saying, we wouldn't need rules. We'd naturally come up with rules
of our own,
of how to be polite with each other, because people want to just enjoy their lives. They don't want to have to.
No, not at all.
Have these problems, and to have rules on everything and laws. Laws should be suggestive. They shouldn't be throwing you in jail. It should be suggestions like, it'd be nice if you stopped at the stop sign, or it'd be nice if you don't shoot someone, or like what are these laws? They've come up with some crazy laws.
They came up with ones. I bumped into some Europeans that live in France yesterday at Venice Beach, and they're saying if you drink water in your car now over there, you will get fined like $1,000, and if you don't pay your fine, they'll take away your license. They'll double your fine. You'll end up in jail or something because you drank water in your car. Even if you're stopped somewhere and it's hot, you're not allowed to drink water in your car in France, apparently, and it's a real thing.
What about coffee?
Coffee? Eventually, maybe they'll catch on to that. I feel as if they're trying to control everything, and they're trying to divide us about everything. The nipple, the men and women rights, the colored rights, everything, the Black Lives Matter, everything you can think of to have us fighting upon one another, so we're just more divided, and so the grid is more divided, so it's easier to control rather than being less divided. Simple as that.
What about Frank Zappa?
Yeah, what about Frank Zappa?
He died young.
Outspoken musician who spoke against media and government. Do you think they took him out?
Maybe. I when I was 18 in Tucson, Arizona, I went to college at University of Arizona, and I used to get into concerts by going after they start, and then if people were leaving who had tickets, I'd ask for their ticket stubs. That was enough back then. You didn't have bands or anything. So I saw a guy and I said, "Hey, can I have your ticket stub?" And he goes, "Yeah, sure, here you go." And I said, "Why are you leaving?" And he says, I got to get going to a business meeting or something. I have to get up tomorrow. So I go in. It turned out to be in the front row. So I sat there, and it had Flo and Eddie had just joined the band, and they were singing Dental Floss. And he said, "Oh, somebody clap." And I was clapping loud, right? Well, after, I was so broke then. I'd spent all my money on beer and stuff. I had nothing. And so I went through the seats, and nobody bothered me. And I went looking on the ground for stuff. I found tons of roaches. I found a bag of marijuana, Frisbee, sneakers stuff. And I used to also smoke cigarettes. So I was picking up stubs to roll cigarettes later. And while I was there, I hear this, hey, you up there. And I look over the balcony, and it was Frank Zappa's entourage had seen me, and he goes, "Hey, are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm great, thank you very much." And he goes, "Okay, I just wanted to make sure you're all right." And I'm thinking now, I should have said, "Hey, let me go on your tour," you know, and looked at him.
Yeah, you never know.
But instead I said, "Thank you, great concert." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, thanks." I think that was apostrophe. I'm not sure. I think it was apostrophe. But anyway, that was amazing. And then I you know, I've seen his films. I was tripping to see 200 Motels when it first came out, so you know I'm 63. But, and of course the funny thing is when you trip and go to a movie, or I hear the same thing. I heard it at another movie later on when I wasn't tripping. It's like, "Hey man, we got to come back tomorrow and watch The Stray," you know, because you don't know what's going on. It's so crazy. But anyway, I think, yeah, he died of cancer at a very early age. He could have been wiped out because he was saying stuff like George Carlin, who was also died fairly young, about the Illuminati and the bankers. He made a very well-used comment now.
A lot of these people seem healthy. They seem very healthy and well put together, and all of a sudden, you know, you don't see them for a while, and then it's just like they died of cancer or pills or suicide, and all these things. Are the actor Robin Williams? He looked he seemed very happy, outgoing. I think that he knew what was going on. He played a part of it. He got sucked in. He had good intentions, and I don't think he committed suicide. I don't think he was depressed. I think he's a very intelligent man that knew what happiness was. It wasn't money and stuff, and I think something fishy happened.
I think he was depressed, honestly. I know he was taking these drugs for his depression.
Oh, wow.
And I don't want to tell you the story where I ran into him, but he was acting, his face was moving up and down. You can see it in a couple of videos. He's like this, and I heard he was depressed. He had done that TV show with his Mort and Mindy, or Mort, what's his name, Mork? But anyway, I heard he was depressed. His show was canceled like after 1 or 2 screenings on TV, and I hear he was going through problems, but he was on those drugs, and he was seeing this woman who's helping him with some psychiatrist or something. But it's a little fishy, though, the way he died. You know, strangulation, which is a sexual thing, which is in his movie. That movie, World's Greatest Dad. His son is watching these pornos on his computer while he's strangling himself, and he accidentally walks in on him. Did you see this? It was directed by, that guy.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
Bob Goldthwait, yes. Which I've seen several of his movies, actually.
Yeah, he's great.
He is very interesting. And also, Robin Williams was going with Bobcat Goldthwait to that comic book store on Sunset Boulevard. I think it's Meltdown, thank you. And they actually did a couple of radio broadcasts.
The original show of Nartapes used to be there at Meltdown Comics.
Really?
This was about, I believe, 2 years ago it started. Maybe almost 2 years ago it started over there, and yeah.
They got some good albums here, by the way. I saw early Alice Cooper, and of course they got Sgt. Pepper's, if you need a copy.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta tell you the truth. No, I better not.
Talking about Narburger, the record shop.
Yeah. Narburgers.
Narburger. No S. Burger.
Oh, no S. I'm sorry. It's not plural. It's a single Nar burger.
So if you're in town, obviously check out Narburger, and that reminds me that it would be great to keep this show going and to maybe have any donations come in so we can keep this show going, to eat, to drink, to just keep this, pay the bills around here, to help the lights on, and to keep the show going. And there's all kinds of merch. You can go on the website. You can check out nartapes.com. There's plenty of stuff on there to buy. There's some new pins. There's all kinds of other shows. This is a separate show, not affiliated with everything, but they allow me to do Corey's Conspiracies. I am sorry, I don't have any merch or anything, or else I would love to sell it to you, or come up with some ideas. Jerry Rogers actually told me I should do a pin, and I think I might actually get some pins and design it, and then get some pins myself, and then resell them. If anybody wants some pins out there, I'd love to sell them to you. I'm not trying to make a ton of money off of them, but I love to sell them to you for, reasonable amount, like reasonable amount, $10 or something. Give me some ideas. Don't be afraid to donate if you want to. I am selling a 300 plus page documents of the Charles Manson murders upon why it was a hoax, upon why it wasn't real, and it's really interesting. You can check it out yourself. You might think that's crazy, but if anybody is interested in that, I'll send it to you via email or however you want. I think email would be better. I will sell that document to you, the full page documents, for $10. It's really disclosed. You're not going to find it anywhere, and it's really good information. It's going to make you think, and it explains why this hoax was used in the first place to change the world, infect the world, and have certain agendas behind it. And it's the same tactic that happened now that's relevant from the Charles Manson hoax, basically. It's their way of getting away with lies and using the media and all these things and staging it. It was one of the first major staged events, like when it becomes on the media and stuff like that. It was just an experiment. There's a lot to go behind it, but if you're interested in that and checking out and reading it yourself rather than listening to me, I'll sell it to you for $10 right now before the show ends.
May I also push my...
Oh, yeah.
I'm Acid Head Ed. I'm on YouTube. Check out some of my videos. I think my best one is Ballad of Acid Head Ed. But I also wrote some songs to the beautiful and lovely Paris Hilton. Mm-hmm. And you might find those funny. Paris, I Love You. That Paris Hilton dame. But Ballad of Acid Head Ed's good. And I also have a Disneyland one. And I haven't put anything up for a while. I've been planning to. I have one out, but I got to re-edit it. It's called Acid Head Ed Building Inspector. But I have music. I have songs.
I like your music. Your music's really good. And
if you call Narburger and tell them you'd like some Acid Head Ed, I'll make tapes and give it to Corey to bring here and sell them to you. And they can take the money for Narburger because this place is great.
Oh yeah, to keep the shows going. Corey's
we
Conspiracies.
Keep Uncle Funky.
Uncle Funkle?
Funkle. Uncle Funkle. We need to keep him happy. He needs his technical equipment.
Oh yeah.
His mixing and he's doing a great job, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. So we got some comments.
Call us up.
Oh yeah, call us up. That's my favorite part when people call on the show and we talk. Well, it's 7:30 now, but if we don't get any donations or any calls, I think I'm gonna go 7:45, 7:50. I'm gonna cut the show off. It depends how much activity is going and how much energy. More energy, the better. Don't be afraid to call out there, interact, tell us something different. We want to hear other people talk.
I'd like to hear you talk. I
made a donation. Pre-baked says I made a donation.
Oh yeah, she donated.
Oh, awesome! Thank you so much, Pre-baked.
Pre-baked.
You know what, Pre-baked?
That's Bree, not Pre.
Bree, I'm sorry. I have good vision, but it's just the lighting right now because we're in the studio. Right. So yeah,
his eyes are going.
My eyes are going.
He's been staring in the sun.
Yeah, from sun gazing.
You said that the staring in the sun gave you energy, but actually what you're doing is you're stimulating all your nerves, which sends energy out of your body. I don't think it's good for your eyes. I really don't.
I can believe that. I thoroughly... We're talking about sun gazing now, and I have a sun gazing video out there. It's serious, but not so serious. It's kind of made funny for the audience to kind of reel them in and get a kick off of it, but also be involved in it more because it's so funny or whatever. But anyways, I truly believe in sun gazing. I don't think it's very healthy to stare directly into the sun. I think you should just trust your own instincts and be in the light and let it go through your eyes naturally and stuff like that. And
sun's good.
Sun's very healthy and stuff like that. Vitamin D and makes your bones strong and it reverses cancers and all these things. So
Hi.
we got a hi from Ouches Von Doom. Bree Bake said, "Did you guys receive it?" I believe
They
Uncle
said they got
Yeah.
the donation.
Thank you. On that reminds me, Bree Baked. When I decide to come up with something, I'm gonna put money into making pins for myself. I'm actually gonna remember. I'm gonna give you one. I'm gonna send you one when I get the pins. I see you on the show frequently. You're always supporting the show. You're always interacting. You have a pin. It's yours for free, guaranteed. And I'll throw into something else special. I like to do something more interactive or something more physical. I can send you. You know, something I might make or write or whatever. So that's yours. I really like those 3 smiley faces. I appreciate you. Roll. No,
You're
you
the best,
roll.
Corey.
I appreciate you looking within, and I appreciate all you guys and look within all of you guys and everything you have to say. It's a magical conspiracy show. I'm smoking some Dweebs OG for you, Bree. Nice. That's an Art Tapes comment to Bree. So, anybody out there have anything interesting to say? Anything that's going on in the world? Give us a call. I don't keep up with everything, you know. Unfortunately, everybody's, you know, on their phones nowadays. You got this Instagram to look at. We got all these interests. We're trying to make $1. We're trying to survive. We're trying to eat. We're trying to have fun, be out there. It's hard to keep up with everything, man. It's hard to. Things change, man. It's not like we all like work or go home and watch The Simpsons and take it easy, or I don't know. Everybody lives differently, so. So many people know so many different things out there and have different views and consciousness and beliefs and I love to hear anything that you guys have to say that's awakening or spiritual or conspiracy wise or any of that stuff, or just to say hi or just to talk about something relevant to that is awesome. So yeah, it is 7:36.
Time flies.
Yeah, time flies, but I may consider cutting the show off at 7:50 if we got a donation. We'll keep the show going, but let's try to have some more interaction and stuff out there. If not, we'll cut off the show until next time, not next Thursday, but the following Thursday. What do you guys think about Halloween? Is there any conspiracy about Halloween or anything out there that we should talk about? Anything?
Well,
How Halloween even came about, or what do you have anything to say about Halloween?
well, as I wear a clown mask on Hollywood Boulevard, and it's Acid Head Ed for President of the United States of America, and I've been doing that since 2007. And the problem with Halloween is when it comes around every year, I get no donations. Everybody says, "Oh, is that your costume?" You know, but I get no donations. And then now, thanks to it and all this fear, because there'd always be someone who'd say, "Oh, I'm afraid of clowns," or "My girlfriend's afraid of clowns. Get out of here." I think it's colophobia. It's called. It's actually fear of stilts, but that means fear of clowns. I think people should donate money to Acid Head Ed and to Nar Burger to help stamp out colophobia. We've got to get rid of these people who are afraid of clowns just because of Stephen King's It and stuff. I actually read, the police said in Hollywood, do not wear clown costumes this year. If you are, expect to be shot.
Holy shit.
Damn, that's
what
heavy.
it said. And not by the cops.
Oh, and
not by the cops, but by people who are afraid, who go, "Oh my God, it's a clown!"
Well, it has to do with those videos that were going spiral too about people standing in the middle of the road in the countryside
Exactly.
with a baseball bat and a clown
It
F.
is
It's
fear.
standing for it's fear.
It is.
And everybody's getting a kick off of it, and the police are
They know. They know.
population
these people are
control
crazy.
is real.
People are crazy.
And the people that try to run this world, probably one is dead anyway, so they're like, hell with it. Let's drill it into the police force and all these things that go out there and just put an end to it, you know?
the media has, and
Just
the government's made us nuts. And
Yeah,
people
they're making
are
us
emotional and
yeah.
they react. It's
Exactly.
reaction.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, clown or alien.
Now wait a minute, clowns. I mean,
They want us killing one another, basically.
they've got to treat clowns a lot better. We're the most beaten up people. I wish I had my clown mask. I should have worn it.
I like clowns. I think they're funny. I'm not afraid of
Well,
no
thank
clown. It doesn't scare me. I think it's funny when I watch those movies. The first one's pretty scary, but when I watch those movies, I'm just like, haha, really? Like, haha. I mean, if you're younger and you see a clown, yeah, that's fucking scary. You guys have any clown experiences that are very
McDonald's.
scary?
That's a scary.
That's a very scary
Those
clown.
are bad burgers. You need Nar burger, not McDonald's burger. They're terrible. Get a Nar burger.
There's
gnarly.
something very fishy behind the
They last
McDonald's
forever.
clown.
McDonald's burgers last forever. Yeah, what's
Yeah,
with
they
that
stay in
clown?
your stomach.
I beg your pardon?
They stay in your stomach.
Yeah, it's true. You eat
Yeah.
a lot of these foods and stuff. They stay in your stomach, and that's why you get fuller and stuff. It's because you got that shit stuck in you, basically.
You can't digest it. I hear they last
Prune
forever.
juice. Prune juice helps you get rid of stuff from the inside. I read a book about a guy that was in a secret society, and he talks about vital things. You need the sunlight. You should be eating 2 well-balanced meals a day. You shouldn't be overeating. You should be exercising. And then prune juice helps you eliminate and push out all the shit that's kind of stuck in you, because it helps you live longer and helps you get rid of all that gunk and stuff. That way your insides and your vital tracts works better. If you need, I once in a while, actually before this show, I marked down on my list to do, I need to get prune juice, because when I feel as if I eat a lot of things that are unnatural, or I'm not eating enough fruits and vegetables, when I drink some prune
Fruits and
juice,
vegetables is what you should eat.
Oh, yeah.
When you eat meat, you can get constipated easily.
oh, absolutely. We're not. I truly believe that we're not supposed to be eating meat and animals and all that stuff. We're supposed to be walking around underneath the sun, eating leaves, picking berries, all that stuff. We can survive off of that. We don't need. People are like, "What is food? Why don't you watch What the Health?" You
Acid
know?
head for president. That's a comment. Thank you, Mountain Forge.
I feel like I'm ranting, but it's only out of love.
Keep ranting.
I'm no
it's
no
just
Alex
I'm getting
Jones.
sick of the prune juice.
I'm really bad with the Alex
Stay up the prune.
Jones voice. I always try to pull his voice out.
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
The bone broth. The bone broth.
If you guys
Bone broth. Like, good.
If you guys think that George Bush didn't do it, you're crazy. That's a really bad impression.
Yeah, Ed's Alex Jones is a little better.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you kindly, sir. Uncle Funkle. That's Uncle Funkle, right?
Yeah. You know
okay.
it.
I'm losing my voice from secondhand smoke over the years. It's killing me. People around this world are killing me. Even though you're around people that do things differently, they end up killing you from what they do sometimes. You know?
Like a car.
Like a car, yeah.
And of course, Corey here is a skateboarder, so he has to be particularly careful.
Oh.
Right. What? What are you looking at now?
I'm reading a
for
comment.
president, that's my favorite.
Bree Bake says, I don't disagree, but for argument's sake, why do we have
For the meat, canine teeth.
canine teeth then? Well, I'm not going to get into suspicious... I'm not going to get into fine detail because
I
honestly...
think they're called canine to make you think of dogs, but nuts. We eat nuts, and I think you.
And then we have
the
our
shell.
hands to pick
It doesn't
things.
have to be for meat.
If I don't like to...
I think we're vegetarians naturally,
Oh,
and I
absolutely.
think it's the aliens who eat human beings. They're the ones who got us into eating meat, right? Obviously.
I can believe that.
I really think we're here on a cattle breeding farm, and they're going to come down, scoop us up, and we're going to be human popsicles. I'm a meat popsicle. What's that from? Some movie. Somebody's commented before. I'm a meat popsicle.
That's
That's Bruce. What? Who?
Brandon
Brandon.
Kelly commented earlier.
Yeah, but I think the actor was the guy from, Bruce. He's in the shoot 'em up movies. A big actor, and I think he says I'm a meat popsicle because he's frozen. What is it? I can't remember. I'm so sorry.
You guys should watch Killer Clowns for
Google?
Halloween. Killer Clowns, the movie, is a great movie. I like
he's
that.
pushing collophobia.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry to push all these things on everybody, but Killer Clowns is awesome. But
Love
yeah,
your clown.
about the eating meat thing, I hate to use Netflix But What the Health is a great documentary. It blew my mind. It talks about how like the American Heart Society reverses all these things and pushes it on it when it's actually causing the heart attacks and all these things. And the farmers and the dairy industry and all these things. It talks about the doctors, the propaganda, everything. And it gets down to every detail. And it makes you not want to eat these things.
I just remembered, I'm very sorry. It's The Fifth Element.
The Fifth Element.
It says, I'm a meat popsicle.
I'm a meat popsicle.
It says, is this, are you, remember that's he's in his apartment. What's that guy's name? Bruce? Who's the actor?
Bruce Willis.
Thank you. I
Bruce,
can't believe how
he was in
dumb I am.
Face Offs too. Bruce Willis, 90s, big huge actor in the 90s.
And now he's in hundreds of independent films. And what was his thing? Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Bruce Willis.
Oh yeah, that went hard.
Oh, the third Die Hard. It's very funny if you watch it. There's actually a scene where someone says, "Well, I should marry Trump. I'm gonna." She's taking something. It's unbelievable. So she says, "Yeah, and I'm gonna marry Trump." And then later on they say, "Yeah, and who's the 45th president?" They got to remember because it's a question. And he goes, "It's Hillary Clinton." He goes, "No, it's not Hillary Clinton. She hasn't been elected yet." That's actually in the third Die Hard movie. It's very fascinating.
Huh.
Yeah.
Check that out. Aaron said skateboarding will save humanity. I agree. There's a lot more to skateboarding that's around it. Skateboarding is just skateboarding. It's a wonderful thing. Everybody's starting to do it around the world. It's more common, but there's a lot more behind it. Freedom and just getting things, and a lot more that travels with skateboarding that will save the world. But it goes along with the skateboarding world and movement and stuff. So skateboarding, yeah, it could save the world. Anything can.
I think Bree says monkeys are cannibals. I think they will eat meat if they have to, but I don't think they
want
do
to.
it automatically.
I agree. I think a lot of animals out there are used to tactics.
And balance is the best. I mean, little meat won't hurt you. It's
No,
probably
it's not
good
gonna kill
protein. I like eggs myself. I know they say, "Oh, don't eat eggs."
Yeah, they talk about that in the
eggs,
documentary on
bananas.
eggs.
No, they say don't eat them.
Oh yeah. But then again, people are gonna do what they're gonna want to do.
Easy with pancakes and
Um,
crispy bacon.
crispy
hash
bacon.
browns.
Hash brown.
Oh, getting hungry.
I want candy. Bruce Willis uses an earpiece to help him with his lines. I would need that too. I can't. My mind's all over the place. I'll be like, yeah, I'm just gonna look good, and you guys just tell me to say ABC. I'm
a meat popsicle.
I'm a meat popsicle.
Fifth element.
No dietary fiber in meat.
There's actually fiber.
There's actually a.
But it's different. It's what is it?
It's a different fiber. You get some. You actually get
you need
one.
fiber.
You get one thing that you can't find that's not in meat and it's actually good for you. They say they talk about that in the documentary. What the Health or whatever. That's what it's called. What the Health. They say in meat you get one thing that's actually very beneficial, but overall it's not good for you. But who knows? This is a documentary. It's just
fatty acids. You have what 7 essential fatty acids or something, and certain minerals that you need to get. They say you get from meat, but I think you can get it from grain.
Oh yeah, there's sources
and
nuts
and berries. I think the human body is amazing, and
they can put up with a lot of stress and a lot of damage and stuff. You think about all the crazy things that we've done to our lives and how many pizza rolls we've ate.
Pizza rolls.
And I was just in Vegas, and I was. Someone says, "Do as the Romans do when you're in Rome." I was in Vegas, and I let go of myself, and I went to all-you-can-eat buffet, and I paid $35. I was like, "Fuck! I paid $35 to eat, man. Well, I'm going fucking hard then." I've ate so much in my life in one sitting where I literally felt my back moving and shivering. I was like, "What the fuck?" And I honestly thought I was almost gonna have a heart attack, man. But I was like, you know what? It's well worth it.
You got your money's worth.
I got my money's worth. Ate all these sweets and snacks and damaged some of my insides. But you know what? They'll regenerate. It's all good, Whatever.
It's nothing like a delicious prime rib.
Exactly. I had a lot of fried food and all that good stuff. Anyways, I would love to live on a self-sustaining farm. That would rule. self-sustaining marijuana farm, that would roll even harder.
Pot. I've stopped for 2 years, 4 months.
We were actually talking about smoking pot in my van on the way here, and someone was telling me that I bumped into a very kind, I hate to use the term homeless, but this dude was very awake, and him and his girlfriend were homeless in Venice, California. Of course, they had the dreads and everything, typical homeless Venice Beach people, but I don't want to label them like that, but they look like that.
But you just did.
Yeah, but I just did. But they told me, the dude was telling me, you know, when you smoke weed, it brings in the demons and the angels and the good and bad at the same time. So if you let one side take over you or whatever, you know, you can become that or whatever. But I don't know.
Interesting. I guess life is like that, huh?
It really is.
I
mean,
love Trader Joe's, by the way.
I'm not gonna lie on this show. When I've smoked sativa, marijuana, I'm a very open person with no filter. But it made me not want to go to sleep when I wanted to sleep. It made me want to have sex with women when I shouldn't have sex with women. You know, it can make you become something that you're not. Or I found myself dancing in front of the mirror, being high as a kite. Being high with myself and just being high, and I can't control myself because I'm dancing in the mirror for 4 hours.
When I was going to Disneyland, I was smoking all day long, and I had these pipes. It had a cap, metal cap. You fill it and then screw it on with the screen. I'd have small stems, so I could carry like 5 of these tops, and I just like, you know, the Ferris wheel in California Adventure. It's like I go up, and as you go up, do one, then it goes around again, do another, then I go right onto the roller coaster and walk in the front. You walk in the exit, go in the single rider, sit in the front row, and you're doing the loop-to-loop. And California Adventure, the California Soaring, it used to be called. I don't know what it is
That's
now.
a beautiful ride.
And then the next thing I know, I just started smoking everywhere with these little things. You just go, stick it in your pocket. I was stoned continually and talk about... It was crazy. I walked a lot, though. I walked a lot and lost a lot of weight back then.
Walking's good. Moving's good.
Yeah.
I feel like I drive around LA in this traffic and stuff, and I honestly, when I eat, I feel like I need to be walking so it digests better, and I feel like the more you do and stuff, the more healthy mentally and physically you are. But I don't know. Then again, you can be wrong. It's nice to relax.
Has a theory on Trump.
Yeah, we got some comments in there.
Tell him to call.
Corey owning a van is the
vids.
best thing I've ever heard all day. Adds a certain legitness to his show. Absolutely.
Legitimacy.
I do own a van. I paid $600 for it. I live in it most of the time. I had a few girlfriends out there that I was staying with them. I like to go to Venice Beach and surf. Tomorrow I'm going to live in my van next to Venice Beach. Meet up with a guy with Switzerland that actually is a big fan of White Fang and Free Weed and everybody that I randomly met, and the dude was playing White Fang in front of me while I was telling him beforehand that I know these guys that played a show there, and I didn't tell him who it was, and he started playing White Fang right in front of me. Small world. So me and him are going to surf tomorrow. Anyways, he was telling me about conspiracies in Switzerland because there's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on there, and a lot of the rich bankers and stuff live in Switzerland. But he said if you're in Europe, it's a great place to go and make money if you want to do that. Not to live there, but to make money is you go to Switzerland and Europe to make money, and you save money, and then you have more money to travel. But then again, you know, life has all kinds of mazes and doors to go through. And
I'm not going to Switzerland.
No, I want to go check it out.
I like LA. Nice and warm, comfortable. I'm not going to any
yeah.
cold climates.
Dump vids want to hear my theory on Trump? Absolutely.
Call us up.
Call us up. The best way to do it. Call us up. The number's on the screen. I love to hear from you. It's 5:53. I was gonna cut the show off, but we got a donation. If we get another donation, some more calls, I'll be more lenient to keep the show on for a little bit longer. But we have no money, man. I'm starving over here. We need a few bucks, man, so I can go get the McDonald's and stick it in my stomach and kill myself. That way I can live harder and know that I'm going to die younger and have more lust for life to do this show, because I know it's now or never. So I need a few bucks to go get the McDonald's McDouble right now to keep me going, guys. I'm kind of joking about that, but I'm kind of not. So don't be afraid to check out the merch on the website, nartapes.com. And don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe. Check out all the other endless videos that are tied to Nartapes within their Nartapes media and all the stuff on YouTube and all that good stuff. There's so much to check out and all the past episodes and future episodes coming up. Not next Thursday, but the following Thursday will be Corey's Conspiracies again. I'd like to have Acid Ed on the show more often. It will happen. If you guys are in town, you're more than welcome to be on the show. If you're in the LA area, we have more than enough room to fit a couple people here and to talk on this show. Don't be afraid to call up right now and give us some feedback. Let's talk about some new stuff. Let's donate. It's not the donation people outside your grocery store trying to save the whales. This is nartapes.com/GTG. This ain't Save the Rainforest Foundation. This ain't American Heart Association.
It's not. That's why I came here. I wanted to save your heart. Please, give me your heart. I'm hungry. I'm actually a meat eater.
Dancing is the shit. Of course, it's very healthy. Dancing is the shit.
Is
Dancing is...
This runs... I said this before, and I always thought about this when I was younger. One of the things I'd really like to happen before I fade away into some other form or before whatever way I go one day or whatever. Hopefully I live a long age or whatever. But I really like everybody in the world to go outside at the same time and to drop everything and know that we're all together and we're all as one, and to go out and to dance outside with everybody. Like, you ever see the movies, like, at the end of Shrek, and everybody's partying in the village, and everything's so happy and peaceful?
Never saw it.
I want everybody in the world to come outside and dance and know that the whole world is doing it at the same time, and the energy and all that stuff would affect, it would make change, it would travel, it would do something amazing. That would be wonderful if that happened. Or if everybody like lit one of those Chinese things. I know it kind of sounds a little cheesy and lame, but if everybody lit one of those Chinese lanterns and all lit them off all together in the world. Why can't we be doing stuff like that? We have so much potential and so many things we can do together. We can do so much in this world and to have so much innovation in this world and potential, but I feel we're so behind in a lot of ways because we're all, you know, doing what we do, and there's nothing wrong with that, but there's always more room for potential and more love and more light to be reflected off of everything. A lot of colors to fulfill and bring out to the world. So yeah. Thank you.
I'm getting tired.
Yeah, you're getting tired?
Yeah.
I'm getting...
But it's been wonderful.
Oh yeah.
Show.
So it's 7:57.
But I mean, if you're talking about getting out in the world and dancing, that just tires me.
Yeah, it makes it. Yeah, it stares me up.
I think I want to go dancing right now.
Right now. I feel like dancing. I'm a dancing queen. Any kind of dancing. JFK shot Tupac. That's an interesting conspiracy. I conspired to dance. Dump. Vince, love to hear your call on the Trump thing that you're asking or you're trying to tell us about.
He already said, Trump is a flamingo. The lizard people put him in power to side with the bear people of Russia.
Oh, wow.
No, it's Hillary who's with the bear people of Russia.
Hillary.
You know, she just blamed him immediately for the crimes she commits. It's all in the news now. They even mentioned it on CNN finally. Is that, who is it? Podesta, her pal. Actually did that dossier thing, the P-Gate, that was all them, and it's very interesting what's happening because now she's up for some crimes. They actually want to arrest her. 11 different things they want to arrest her for. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, everybody's been trying to stick Hillary in jail or Hillary.
They haven't been.
Hillary
They've been blocking it.
I got a little intense and I thought it was funny to be like, yeah, Hillary for the electric chair and stuff. Like, why are we putting up with kids being, you know, sold and raping all these things? People don't see exactly what's going on. Yeah, poor Hillary. She's such a nice lady.
Yeah. What happened?
Obama. Everybody always is
Well,
like,
but-
Obama, he's the best president ever, you know? I'm like, yeah, what about all the bad things that happened, you know?
Obama was an Islamic terrorist. He led in Islamic terrorists to attack our country. He's horrible. And the people who voted for him are racists. Only racists voted for a guy who had no background. And you know why they voted for him? Because he's black. That's the
Yeah.
only reason they voted for him. He had no history. And as a matter of fact, 95% more black voters got out to vote. And a lot of white people, too. You know, a lot of Democrats.
Now they're probably wanting to vote
Because he
more
was black.
because it happened. Now they're like, our vote finally count. But then again,
But I don't want you, you know, I'm happy. He was the same as George Bush. I mean, you really had no choice. We just had George Bush, who blew up the buildings. So whoever it was going to be was going to win. And I actually was supporting Hillary. I was thinking, hey, she's great. I love Bill Clinton. You know, I'm nonpartisan. And I voted for Bill Clinton twice. I thought, God, the economy was so great back in the 90s. You don't even know what it's like now. I mean, now it's just horrifying. But everybody had a place to stay, an apartment. You could buy a house. Meals were inexpensive. I was going, yeah, okay, let's get Hillary in. And then now I don't know because of all the convoluted information, all the conspiracies from both sides. It's hard to know. They all seem the same.
oh yeah, we
Except
talked
for
about
Trump.
that.
He's an outsider.
Well,
And
you never
so
know.
They're
He
trying to destroy. Yeah, you never know. He might be pretending to
We
be
talked
an
about this
outsider.
on the show multiple times, and I
Yeah.
think it's all the same gig in a lot of ways.
It's power.
Power,
You
and
I
then people
don't-
trying to do
well,
their certain agendas
what
and get
is that?
their way and try to control.
George Carlin. They have their club, and you ain't in it.
Yeah, oh
George
yeah.
Carlin.
Don't try to turn the table because the table is already slanted.
We were in rush hour
Table is
traffic
always
earlier on the way to the show, and Acid Ed was like, you know what George Carlin said? He said, you know, why do they call it rush hour?
Oh, right. When you drive so slow, you're driving slow, and it's called rush hour. That's
Yeah.
He could play in words. He loved his words. You know, he's the best.
Yeah, he might be my favorite.
I think he's the most intelligent, and I laughed out loud.
Yes.
You know, I mean, like you talk about Robin Williams, he's fine, but he's more frenetic, right?
Yeah.
He's always like, blah, 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 blah. But George Carlin made you think,
Yeah.
you know, really think.
Oh yeah. He drilled it into you, and it's supposed to be a comedy show. You're supposed to watch comedy on TV, and you're like, okay, this is funny, it's funny, but
It's the comedy
you're getting the truth laid down to you
The
on a
truth.
comic
It's
show.
the funniest.
George Carlin used to cover that same kind of frenetic energy ground back in his earlier days too, but I think when he realized that he had something that he should probably slow down and tell people.
'Cause-
Well, he gets
started doing that.
excited, but he was the hippy dippy weatherman,
Yeah,
if you
oh, yeah.
remember. And so he was like hippie and smoking pot and acting cool. He improvised a lot, I hear.
Yeah.
He was on the Smothers Brothers show, I
Yeah.
believe, quite a bit. And then Johnny Carson. I used to see him on Johnny Carson. Do you remember Johnny Carson?
Oh yeah.
Saw him all the time on that. And then the next thing I know, he like went into another realm of being this intellectual
Yeah.
and really analyzing words, which is very important. Look at all the words and see what is the extra meanings in them. A lot of people nowadays, they're just telling you what they hear on television or they see it here. You know, yeah, listen to it, listen to everybody, but think for yourself and analyze.
Exactly.
And George Carlin was a leader,
Leader in chief
honestly.
of
For
the
me,
lizard people.
I was shocked when he died too. What, he was 70 or something? I guess he lived to 70, but
George Carlin, yeah, I think he was 72.
72.
Maybe he just wanted to go home and have beer or something, you know, or whatever. We all die naturally at
I
some
think
point.
he had a heart attack, didn't he?
A heart attack. Maybe he just wanted that
did.
extra steak because he can afford it or something. Aaron said Obama was the first step in their division game of emotionally identifying
Identity
politics.
definitely.
Avoid the trap.
You know, it's so funny how they say, "Oh, Trump, he's a racist," but it was actually Obama who was the racist.
Oh yeah.
And remember how he pushed Black Lives Matter and he just insulted America everywhere he went, and it's like kill the police. He let it go. He let it go. He wouldn't stand up for America ever. And Trump now is standing up for America always, but as we globalize, because we are going to globalize whether you like it or not. It's you got these banks and they're all corporatized now. So when Trump talks about the stock market going up, to me, I don't like the stock market going up. That's not really individuals with their own businesses. I mean, my grandfather had a bicycle shop, you know? We had our own businesses back then. You had your own responsibility and you felt proud. And now you're working for corporations, and it's horrifying.
Our Google, our Whole Foods.
Giant corporations.
You can't find a job out there, and you gotta, you know.
That's
like,
the only jobs they have. Exactly.
That's
Very
sad.
rare for, like, Narburger. Very rare to find someone who has their own business. I love this place, honestly.
Well, yeah, and the only way we're able to even do it is by being totally fringe, scraping along the bottom, not, you know, being constantly paycheck to, or you know, check to check and independent contractors. It's like
and donations.
Donations.
Yeah, and donations from generous
From
viewers
you.
like you.
You wonderful people. You lucky people here with Corey and Uncle Funkle and Narburger. You're very lucky, and I hope you keep tuning in and tell your friends about this and your relatives and even your dogs.
I'm
Tell
lucky
them
to have you on
to
the
watch.
show.
Oh, well, thank you, Ken.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate that, Corey. And Corey asked me. He asked me a while ago, and I was ready, and I thought, you know, well, Corey's all over the place. You're constantly traveling and going into the woods. I love nature. And he asked me today, and I came out just to speak with you.
U.S.
Wonderful
secret
people.
U.S. secret war in Africa. 6 Morgoth said.
Oh, you know what I heard about Africa? You know how they said these 4 people died in Niger? It turns out we actually have army in 53 of the 54 states of Africa. They don't tell you that. But that's what's been going on for a while during Obama, continued by Trump, who's a good military. He loves the military. He never was in it, but he went to military school, trusts the generals, and he's letting them go. They wiped out ISIS, and I guess ISIS has been invading all these African countries, trying to turn them into Islamic. I see Islam as a declaration of war, since they want to kill off every other religion, and not necessarily that's the radical Islamics. They don't like you saying that, but that's really what it is. It's not really, you know what I mean? I don't know enough to tell you, but I do know it's a declaration of war. They kill you unless you become Islamic. Now that's not Muslim, because Muslim people, you know, that's Egypt, and from Muslim people, I guess the Mideast Semitic people, that's where the Jewish religion came, and then we got Christianity because of the rabbi, Jesus Christ. He was a rabbi, as you know, right? And those are thousands of years old, and it was the new morals that allowed us to build this civilization. America, my relatives came here in 1510. They were Presbyterians being Protestants, and we were crucified by Catholics in Europe. And so, I don't know how it happened, but we were on a ship in 1510, wooden boats. Supposedly, we had a grant of land from the King of England. I've heard it was gambling debts, but I don't know. And we came here, and actually Christians, Irish Catholics, were sold as slaves. They were the first slaves, and there was a lot more than blacks later on. And they would say, Christians for sale. And there's still pamphlets you can find. They have them at the Library of Congress. But that's who built this country before, I think it was 1619, the first black people came as slaves, 19 of them. And that was the Rothschilds, actually, who brought them. And they owned the what are they called? Not the mansion, what are they called in the South? The plantations. Yeah, those were the slave dealers from around the world. I mean,
Wow.
Rothschilds had something like 95% of the slave trade. The number one slave seller was a black dude. I mean, so this race identity, this identity fighting is just nonsense.
I agree.
This has been forever. I mean, even in the Bible they talk about slaves.
And if you fight against
treat your slaves nice.
And if you talk against it, or you try to stick up for the truth and try to exploit it, people are going to think you're racist because you're not out there saying this matters
You're not
and
saying
sticking
what they tell you.
Yeah, or you're not sticking up with the women's rights or whatever. I'm like, you got to look past it. Quit your nonsense and your babying, and stop being underneath it all. And hopefully you see the light.
You won't be on national TV, but that's a good thing. You know, if you want to be on national TV, say what they want you to say, right?
Exactly.
You got to self-censor.
Not me. I bombed the news before. I have some videos out there. If you guys want to see them sometime, or I'll show them on the next show. I've bombed the news before, and I'm not afraid to do it, and I will say some really crazy-ass shit.
I have seen it.
I'm a very crazy person in a lot of good ways.
That was the Rolling Stones, right?
I actually... Yeah, I bombed the Rolling Stones concert. I've bombed the news about shape-shifting and like I've done a lot of things before, and I'm not afraid to do these things because I think the world's crazy, and it takes a crazy person to do something crazy that's good, and everybody's gonna think everybody's crazy, so fuck it. Be crazy.
I'm not crazy.
The crazy I am in the good.
Oh, yeah. I'm not crazy.
Some people can think
Delusional.
you're crazy. I'm sure there's people out there that think you're crazy.
No.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Nobody thinks that.
Uh-oh, I think we got a caller.
Uh-oh, I think it's someone to say I'm crazy. But go ahead.
Caller, you're live on the Nartakes Network.
How's it going, Corey?
Yeah.
Go on.
Hey, Corey, this is Ouches. I wanted you to tell us the story about when you went into the bank with the mask on.
How'd you find out about that?
You weren't mentioning it.
We were talking about it. Oh, we made a sale.
We made a sale.
Uh-oh. But can you tell us that story?
Okay, alright, I'll make it quick. This is about 3-4 weeks ago or something. I was
I'll let you go.
Say it again?
I think he said he's going to let you guys go, I think. Go ahead.
Okay, anyways, you there, caller?
No, he said he was going to let us go. That's Ouches or
He wants you to tell the story.
Oh, I got you. Oh, for sure. I'm telling you right now. I got you. Okay, anyways, I'm on the way to work. I bump into some skateboarding friends in Silver Lake, Los Angeles. It's like a small town. And my friends were doing something for the website called thebarracks.com. It's one of the biggest skateboarding websites in the world. They have their big, full establishment downtown LA. They do all the skateboarding media. They advertise. It's the Illuminati of skateboarding, basically, or whatever, you know. So I have some friends I bumped in, and they have all these ex-president masks because they're doing something for this Halloween for the skateboarding website, the Barracks, and they had I think it was the Nixon mask. So I thought it was funny to put on the Nixon mask.
Or you were wearing Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan, yeah. I'm sorry. I for some reason I keep on getting them mixed up. So
I said Nixon when I first saw it, and I was wrong. I was like, wait, no, that's Ronald Reagan. It's just like Nixon mask is popular.
It's like the movie.
I am not a crook.
What is it's like the movie with the surfers that robbed the bank.
Oh yeah.
What is it? Point Break. Break. So it's like the movie Point Break. So I thought it was funny to get a picture on the corner about a block and a half away from the bank in front of the Bank of America sign. Because my buddy was like, let's take it, it's funny, and then I took one myself on my phone, whatever, I was just being stupid, and there wasn't that many people around. I didn't see too many people. I might have seen like one person across at the library, but there's no windows at that library in the front, and there was like no people in cars or anything, and I did it only for like 30 seconds. I had the mask, I put it on, I had the Bank of America sign behind me. Bank of America people couldn't see me. They're inside. There's a parking lot on the other side. I didn't understand. So anyways,
so what happened?
So I put the mask away. I get in my van. I got to go to work. I'm rushing to get to work because I'm kind of wasting time. I need to get groceries before I go to work, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I get in my van. 5 minutes later, I see a chopper going around me.
Really?
There's a LAPD blue and gray chopper circling around me. And I'm like, why is that chopper circling around me? There's something going around in this area. What's going on? I don't see anything. I'm driving my van. I notice the chopper's following me and circling right around me. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, did someone really think I was robbing a bank with that mask and they called the police? Is that why this chopper's here? And in the back of my mind, I kind of got that idea. I was like, that could be. And the chopper's following me. I go over the bridge, over the LA River, into the Glendale area near the mountains towards my work. The chopper's still following me. I'm like, okay, something's really weird. This is like out of the movie. I'm really paranoid now. Something doesn't seem right. I see a cop coming on the other side of me, a cop Charger, a vehicle on the other side of the lane, and then he makes a U-turn behind my van. He starts following me. Right then and there, I'm like, fuck. This is gonna get crazy. Hopefully it doesn't get ugly. It's kind of exciting. It's kind of funny in my head, but at the same time, to get to ground level of realism, This could be very dangerous and it's very scary. I keep on driving. 5-10 minutes later, I'm driving. I turn the corner. There's 6 cop cars behind that cop car, maybe 7. I'm like,
Wow.
okay, now I'm kind of fearing for my life. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to go to jail, prison. I don't know what is going to happen out of all this. So the Charger turns its cop lights on. I pull over gradually, slow. The first thing I knew to do is stick my hands out the window. That's what I did. I stuck my hands wide out the window so they can see them, so they don't think I have a gun or something. I play by their rules. I don't want to get shot. I respect other humans, even though they're police and stuff, and of course no one really likes police for a lot of reasons, but I'm not going to be that dumb. Yeah, I'm not going to be that dumb bad guy, or even though I'm not a bad guy, even though I might look like a bad guy to some people in society or police or who knows. Black van that's spray painted, a guy with long hair, a beard, a crazy dude at a bank with a mask on. What do you expect? So anyways, they have their shotguns out. They got their guns drawn out and everything. The door's open. They tell me to get out my van. I look at the police.
Wow.
When I step out, and it looks like out of a movie, and I'm shaking a little bit. I'm like, okay, and they're like, get down on the ground. They're like, spread your legs, stick your head to the left, don't look at us, keep your hands like this. And then the guy was yelling. They weren't yelling at me like, get down, freeze! They weren't doing that. They were kind of polite and nice about it, just a little forward. But I couldn't hear them that well, and I was like, I can't hear the rest of your directions. And then in my head, I'm freaking out, like, okay, now they might think that I'm not following their directions, and then maybe they'll shoot me or something. And then they come up behind me, and they handcuff me, and they say, we'll tell you what's going on in a second. We're just going to go on the sidewalk. And they're super kind and super nice, and they're like, we would have not came out unless we got frequent callers. Because honestly, we would not even cared whatsoever unless we got... They said even one phone call, we would have been like, yeah, whatever, not a big deal. We got more important things to do. They said they made it seem like they got 4 or 5 callers saying that there was a guy near a bank with a mask on and he was gonna maybe possibly rob the bank or weirding out people or something. But that wasn't true. I really don't know. Maybe it was true. Maybe I didn't see everybody. Maybe I was not so smart about putting on a mask near a bank, which wasn't too near of a... It was like a block and a...
I can tell you, I wear the clown mask and run for president as Acid Head Ed on Hollywood Boulevard. And I walked into Hollywood and Highland, that shopping complex, and I walked around one day. And then I went back the next, and they came, they said, you can't wear the mask. Because they're afraid of people robbing you.
Yeah.
So that's what happened.
Yeah, that's what they say, but they
all
just,
those police officers.
Oh yeah, it was wild. The shotgun drawn out me, the guns.
You'd already left.
They had the guns. They had the door open. The guy was behind the door. It was straight out of the movie, and I was that action. I was one of the characters in the movie.
You'd already left. Why are they bugging you?
Because they got those calls, and they told me that they had to come out just in case it was a bank robbery, in case I did have a weapon.
Couldn't they call the bank?
Oh, the bank didn't really know about it unless they had me on a camera somehow, but I was too far of a distance to even be on the bank cameras probably. So they checked me, they checked my ID, and I was free to go, as simple as that. And I was like, wow, now I have a story to tell for the rest of my life, and now don't ever do that again. And, you know, it could have turned out ugly and stuff. I'm lucky to even be alive. You never know. I could have, if I was another race or something, it could have ended very differently.
That's very true.
Because we were talking about that earlier. Yeah, it could have been, it could have been a guy, unfortunately.
For all the identity politics, there is a certain percentage, yes, you're absolutely right, where they probably will treat a black person.
Absolutely, because the war on their mind is won from the way that they're supposed to see people separate from one another.
Well, if you have bias and prejudice against black people, they can't get jobs, so they tend, and also
it does exist in this world.
And the hip hop and the music makes them want to be gangsters, so they know there's. From what I understand, they pull guns fast compared to white people. I talked to a police officer at Starbucks the other day, and I said, "Do you ever have problems with people pulling guns?" And he says, "No, they don't usually pull guns on police because they know we're trained and we're going to get them." He says, what you got to be careful about is people pulling guns on you as a citizen when the police aren't around to rob you. But
Yeah, anybody can.
But if someone's there in public near a bank, you know, I don't know.
They want to protect the
I
money.
wish I knew.
They want to protect the wealth.
It's
It's
the
my
bankers.
money. Give me my
It's the
money.
bankers. They're
I've got the
responsible.
money. No money for you. Anyways, we got some comments. We're gonna cut this show. I believe we got a sale earlier. It's $8.19. I'm gonna go to $8.25. If we don't get any sales by $8.25, I'm cutting the cord. I'm sorry, guys. I love you guys.
Excellent story, Corey.
Oh yeah. Hopefully I don't ever have to tell anything like that again. It's pretty wild. I have crazy stories because I'm a crazy Corey kind of guy. So, anyways, we've got some comments up there. Spread your shit. Bree Bake says, Carly G, we got ya. You ain't got shit. Best line from Point Break. I actually wanted to watch that movie because I was surfing yesterday. I was like, man, I like that movie. Red Hot Chili Peppers in it, and they got the music, and he's got the long hair, and it's like, I want to watch that movie tonight maybe, in my van, while I'm camping out in Venice Beach before I go to bed. That's what I'm honestly going to do. Someone says, I've never seen the show. Welcome to Corey's Conspiracies. This is a show that's on, they're allowing me to do it on nartapes.com/GTG. They got a lot of shows. You should check it out. Jim Morrison actually arrived from the dead last night on the show.
Jim Morrison.
He sang.
I'm acid hit it. I arrived
This is
from the
at
dead.
yeah. He arrived from the dead. Jim Morrison might be on some future shows, not the Corey Conspiracy show, but check out the other shows on Nartapes and stuff like that.
Isn't it Narburger? Or is it Nartapes?
Nartapes is the tape distribution
I see. Okay.
company.
Okay.
Narburger is a collaboration with Burger Records. This is the LA store, but it's the Burger. It's the Nartape store, and Burger Records also. So thanks for telling me that story, Corey. Absolutely. Got an error on Aaron. Your message retracted. Anyways, pre-baked. Don't worry. I got your pin coming in the future. I'm gonna make a pin and do all that. Send you a special gift. Don't be afraid to call the show now. Make a donation. We need the money. I need the money. I want the money now. No, I'm joking. I'm making that weird noise and gesture because I watched Vegas Vacation the other day, and the guy at the end, he's like, I want the money. The money is mine. Have you seen that movie? Vegas Vacation with Griswold family. It's a really good movie. I like it.
Oh, Vacation.
Yeah, it's like the other Vacations. They had the original.
It's the new one.
Yeah, it's the newer one. It's good.
I think it's called Vacation.
George Papio or whatever his name is wins all the cars and.
I think I downloaded it.
Grateful to Shred, getting our every day. Hell yeah, go if you guys are interested, go on the website and you can buy that album if it's there in stock. I'm sure it should be. There's merch to buy to keep the show going. The merch is not affiliated with my show. I'm just underneath the guys that are allowing me to do the show. Nartapes guys, they have plenty of merch on there. Plenty of great things. They got so much stuff that I can't even... I'm good friends with these guys. I can't even keep up with all this stuff. So many good things. So many good tape releases. Before you know it, there'll be 5 new tapes that are so fucking wickedly awesome that will be out in a few months or something maybe. So got to keep up on all that good stuff. There's pins. If you have any ideas on merch about Corey's Conspiracies, let me know. Try to put my mind to something and make some merch for you. Even if you donate, maybe I'll be willing to, send a shirt out or something if you donate anything, just, you got to keep the show going. So, it's 8:23, so we got 2 minutes, no callers, no donations. I'm going to cut the cord. So 2-minute warning. We didn't play the Corey's Conspiracy Show intro, but you can just go on YouTube, type in Corey's Conspiracies. Uncle Funko, that's engineering the show now, made that wonderful intro. It's really awesome. It's also funny. It's also serious. It's also everything. That's everything. So check that out, Uncle Funkle.
It's also got Corey in it.
Uncle Funk, hit up Uncle Funkle. He does everything. He's like the handyman of it all. He's a producer. I don't know. Just editor. He just anything you can think of.
Uncle Funkle is the bunkle.
Yeah, he's the man, Uncle Funkle. So hit him up, and he can do a lot for you if you want. Thanks for the awesome show tonight, fellas. Thank you.
Thank you.
Be back not next Thursday, but the following Thursday. Well, it looks like we got one more minute. So we're going to close this show off with, I don't know if you mind, Uncle Funkle, showing the intro that you made.
Yeah, that's what we usually do, huh?
Yeah, and then we're gonna leave from there, so you won't see us again after the intro. But I hope you enjoy the intro. Uncle Funkle made that, and we'll see you not next week, but the following week, and that's Thursday at 6 p.m. And don't forget to check out the rest of the schedule on nardtapes.com/GTG.
Hell yeah.
So, all right, guys.
Y'all set?
Hey, oh yeah, have a good night. See you next time.
Good show, you guys.
Thank you.
All right, let's do that.
Open your mind. Wake up. Who controls our world? Connect the dots. I'm Corey Howes. Corey's Conspiracies.